Thought in the morning can change your whole day, and that is enough motivation for you this morning. You just have to have a positive thought, and one of the best thoughts you can have in the morning is, let me tune into GH today and let me watch the show, because we set you right for the day and for the week. So one small thought alone is good for you, and it can change the course of your day. Let's look at the word of the day today.
Today's word is acclimatise. Acclimatize. It's a verb. Acclimatize means to become used to a new place, situation, or climate. Let's exemplify it. It took Nanama more than a month to get acclimatized to the weather in Ghana. Acclimatized.
So I am sure that you paid attention, because for those of you who have been saying acclimatize, what is that? That is what we do on the show this morning. Every morning we teach you how to pronounce a word and how to use a word effectively. So now get acclimatized to me and to the show, and let's kickstart the morning. Now let's get groovy with the video of the day. to adhere to some of the dictates that. So, very, 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 very good song. It's one of the songs I love so much. It tells you more about what you need to do. And my favorite part from that, I know my director does not like it, the fact. Right, so on Inside Out today, I'm asking a simple question. The Ghanaian youth, what are the prospects? Are you happy to be a youth here in Ghana? With all the education that you've had to go through, are you excited being a youth in Ghana? When you look at today's youth in Ghana compared to youth elsewhere, there are so many questions to ask. What is happening? Youth are getting out of schools, they don't have jobs to do. So now the Japa movement has become the solution. And I asked earlier, where is the Ghanaian dream? The Ghanaian dream of growing, going to school, completing, getting a job, getting an apartment somewhere, getting a little car, getting a family, being able to run things and not depend on others. What happened to that dream? Today, every Ghanaian is going to school. In fact, I dare say that most Ghanaian graduates who are in school today, the ones that are just out of school, are not looking for jobs. They just want to leave. Why? Because the country is unable to provide what they require. And then we are told that our skills from school does not match the job market. There is a disconnect between what we learn and what is happening in the field. So that is why we cannot get jobs. Who is the one teaching us in school? Who is the one formulating policies as to what we are supposed to learn in school? Then some people say Ghanaian youth are lazy. Have you seen Ghanaian youth elsewhere in the continent? Have you seen them? Even when Ghanaian youth leave Ghana and go to Burkina Faso, we do not see laziness. These same Ghanaian that we are told does not conform to the rules of society, finds himself in Europe, finds himself in America, does not litter. So is that really the question of who the Ghanaian youth is, or the policy formulation and the things that are here that are not bringing the potential out of the Ghanaian youth? Today I stand here as a Ghanaian youth, and I'm just privileged to be able to get the voice to speak for the millions of my brothers and sisters who have had nothing to do. Some have completed. In fact, now it is a curse for you to go to school and get first class. Do you know why? Because nobody will employ you. That's the truth. Because they are scared of first class students. Yes. So everybody wants to go to school, but very few want to get first class. Whereas elsewhere, getting first class is something that will actually make your life more meaningful. Now you even graduate with second class upper, and you're a threat. And that second class upper does not mean anything anymore. Why? Because the jobs are not even there. We've been told over and over again, the private sector this, private sector that. But that same private sector wants 6 years experience, wants 5 years experience. As a graduate who is out of school, where do I get the experience? Does national service even count as you getting experience to do something? And it's about time we wake up. We really have to wake up in this country, because you see, and we tell ourselves the youth are not getting employed, and so they become puppets for politicians. Why wouldn't they become puppets for politicians? If they had meaningful things to do, would they go and then be selling out their souls to these politicians who use them for their nefarious activities and more? No. I believe strongly that the Ghanaian youth has not lost it. The Ghanaian youth is strong. The Ghanaian youth is resilient. The Ghanaian youth wants to do something. But the question is, where are the opportunities? And then we hear some motivational speakers telling us, create your own opportunities. I heard a musician in Ghana say that if you are born in Ghana, you are set back 10 years. Compared to your counterparts in, say, America and the UK. Yes, but it started somewhere. Now we are talking about youth unemployment and the fact that it's having a grave challenge on us. What are we doing about it? We were promised jobs. Where are the jobs? We were promised that opportunities were going to be created for the Ghanaian youth. Where are those opportunities? Our numbers far outweigh what we see. And then when we talk about this, our old folks say that you're complaining too much. And that is why we are seeing what is happening in other countries, in Nigeria, in Kenya. The youth are angry because they see a sharp disconnect between the political class and then the ordinary people. There's a huge gap because the same people that we entrust power into to make our lives better end up making our lives worse. They take the little things. They tax your internet. They tax your data. They tax everything. That is what is done. And we are told that, well, if we do not do these taxes, if we do not impose these taxes on you, how are we going to raise revenue? So we are killing the spirit of the Ghanaian youth. And that is why now everybody wants to jackpot. I'm sure if I get, I will go. Everybody wants to jackpot. Who would receive a visa now and stay in Ghana? That is why they are sitting on stones. Yes, in search of visa. You go to the American embassy here. You see how people wake up as early as 3 a.m. They go and form queues. They want to leave. Do you see that in other countries? Do people want to leave their countries and come here? The answer is a very big fat no. The only people who want to come here are investors because they see, if I have big money, why would I come to Ghana and come and invest? Yes. And when I come and invest, I'll get my dividends. But where do you expect the Ghanaian youth to get that money to come and invest? Yes, a few ones are able to take certain risks and all of that. Check their backgrounds. Check their backgrounds. You see, sometimes we make it look like Ghanaian youth are lazy, they don't want to do anything. But the question is that the prospects are not there. Yes. It takes a few resilient ones who really have to defy all odds. And even those people still get a pick-me-up somewhere along the journey. Because if you want to do it any kind of giddy like that, bro, Charlie, it's very difficult. And we need to appreciate these things and make sure that we create the avenue for the youth to be able to thrive. If you say that our curricula in the schools is not helping the job market, why are you not changing it? If you are saying that our Ghanaian youth are unemployable because of the fact that they are disconnected from the dictates or the demands of the job market, now who caused them? Please, the Ghanaian youth, very resilient people, very intelligent people, very forceful people. I know Ghanaian youth who have master's degrees yet end up elsewhere and are able to do whatever job is available to be able to survive. And now those people who jackpot, yes, it's tough out there. It's very difficult for them out there. But then they are able to still support those who have first class here. And then when the guy was talking about a Dutch passport and a doctorate degree, you people were angry. But that is his reality. That is his reality. You understand? So please, we need to come to a consensus. And that is why the youth, now I'm tasking you. The politicians are coming for our mandate in December. They want us to vote for them. Please make sure that they have policies that we can be able to hold them accountable to. Yes. Forget about the fact that, we will digitalize the economy. I'll give you 24 hours economy. We've heard all of those things. But how do these policies benefit the youth? Hold them accountable. Hold them. And when they come, see, if it gets to a point where we have to vote a vote of no confidence in them, let us be able to do it. No, the era of fear is over. See, no politician can control your destiny in the first place. See, they don't know you. They don't know you. Me, myself, they don't know me. Me that I am television, they don't know me. So when they come, they do what suits them. But until we learn to hold them accountable and tell them, you are the cause of this failure, we will have a situation where they'll always have a field day. Yes, I'm sweating. I'm very passionate about the youth today. Because I am a youth. I am feeling it. I am feeling it. And the writer says, I grew. I'm youth. I'm Gen Z. I'm feeling it. And I feel sad for those who are completing senior high school, completing university. Every year you are graduating them. What is the prospect? What is the prospect? I'm making no excuses for the youth. I believe that, yes, we need to be hardworking. We need to be this and that and this and that. But where are the opportunities? Where are the policy frameworks that protect us? The policy frameworks that help us to grow? See, no matter how good you are, if you don't have a system that allows for your growth, bro, it's the end for you. We are killing dreams in this country. It's the honest truth. See, Ghanaian youth are not lazy people, and I'll keep saying that. We are not lazy. As early as 4 a.m., you see someone getting up to start saying, circle, 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 yalo, yalo. That is a Ghanaian youth. The question is, if he had opportunities, better opportunities, do you think he will not still wake up at 4 a.m. and make sure that it counts? Sometimes let's just be realistic. So this election year, see, if a politician has nothing for you, I beg you, take a vote from him. Simplicity. If the politician cannot tell you exactly how he intends to create opportunities for you to thrive, my brother, forget that politician. He's not serious. She's not serious. Because we always say that the youth, we are the backbone, the future of the. If this is the future of the country, me, I fear. Yes. If this is the future, and I see the things that are happening to my fellow brothers and sisters, to my fellow youth, if I see what is happening, if this is what we are told is our future, hey, Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana or the big sisters Ghana, we are in trouble. We are in trouble. We are in trouble. So International Youth Day, let's deliberate on these things. Let's think through these things. Let's make sure that, Charlie, we demand better, because you and I, we deserve better. Those outside there who are our age mates, they are not doing anything extraordinary, bro. The system is working, and it is fostering their growth. If we had systems also put in place properly, and leaders are held accountable for the things they see, and we don't just settle for I'll construct roads for you, I'll build public toilets for you, I will do this for you. Please. And then our MPs sit there, and one of their major concerns is that we want to drive through town. Ping pong. Where are you going, sir? Honorable MP, your interest is in rather fixing sirens on your cars so that you avoid traffic. To the place that if I did not vote for you, wouldn't have been MP. Yes, but what do you think about me? Kodjo Mensah, I should stay in the gridlock, but honorable MP for my constituency will sit in siren and then blare it and add to the noise pollution. So I'm in my trotro and I'm thinking about what to eat, and then the siren is also doing ping wah in my ears. I'm not angry. No, I'm not angry. I'm just concerned, because I also have children who are growing up. And if these policies, see, you know what? That's it for Inside Out. Yeah, that's it for Inside Out on that one. Yeah, director, can we give them what Owusu Bempa also said, and let's wrap up on that briefly too. Yes, let's give it to them.
Hear stories of this shoddy work by Kisia Jabin and his office of the OSP is more of a political theater and reputation management of Mr. Mahama, and it cannot be allowed to stand in this country when our democracy needs accountability. The case has also raised broader questions about the integrity of the office of the special prosecutor and the man himself as a special prosecutor. The OSP's inadequacies has been exposed by this very investigation of the Airbus. The OSP could have done a better job than it did with the powers it has and the resources available given to him to work to fight corruption in this country. The Ghanaian public deserve better. We need an independent scientific evaluation to challenge the simplification and misjudgment of the OSP. We call on the British High Commission and the US Embassy to take active interest in this matter and forward these findings to the Department of Justice and the Serious Fraud Office to deal with it. We also call on all relevant authorities and institutions, including institutions of state, including the BNI, the CID, the YOCO, and all anti-corruption agencies to institute a public inquiry into the Airbus scandal, and also afford the former president John Dramani Mahama the opportunity to come defend himself in the full glare of the general public with cameras in camera, to answer questions to the people of Ghana on the Airbus scandal, because the people of Ghana deserve to know exactly what happened.
The PRO for Ghana Gas. He also has a group called Fixing the Country, and we know how that came about. Yes, and I don't want to comment much about this, but the question, I only have one simple question. Ozubempa, how are you doing this morning? I hope Ghana Gas is also faring well. So what are you asking for again? What really are you asking? An institution like the Office of the Special Prosecutor, which you created, your government created, by the way, with so much confidence and trust in Kisei Jammeh. Now you're talking about what? Inadequacies? Why? Because his finding or his investigation and the report does not favor you? Interesting. You know what? I just want to go straight to court, and Murtala Inusa has joined me. He's the man from court, and maybe he will understand a lot more. Murtala, how are you doing?
Joshua Kodjo Mensah. This morning, your energy level is at a different
Look, I have decided to fast for the Ghanaian youth today, so I've not had breakfast.
No, it's a good call. I might say it's a good call. The politicians have taken us for granted for a very long time. I mean, if you go to the various institutions that they say they are creating jobs for us to do, go there and check the surnames. Identical surnames. If you don't have somebody there, forget it. But for those who want to do something for themselves, at least make the environment, create the enabling environment for them. We go together, I'll do this for you, I'll do it for you. At least the Ghanaian has been able to learn something. Make the environment comfortable. We can use our brain to develop something on our own. Now the private sector is everything. Like the public sector, I'm telling you, go there. The surnames are there.
My surname is Mensah.
Yes.
So are you shocked I'm not in the public sector?
Don't be surprised.
Right,
you go there and the surnames are identical. And this is a country that, and when they need you, when they need your vote, they'll be knocking at your door.
Today they'll come and stir banku for you. They'll come and drive banku. They'll pound fufu. They'll plate your hair.
Eating with you in that bowl.
And let that determine your vote. And you and I will see what will happen. Anyway, we just need to make sure that we keep them accountable. That's all.
Once we have life, we'll survive.
We'll survive. All right, so let's bring you court today. Inusa has joined me with the very latest from the courts. And Murtala, you are starting with an election.
Yes, we are in an election.
But it's not a December 7 election.
No. Right. This one is September 11 election.
September 11.
The Ghana Bar Association. Yes, they are electing new executives.
9/11.
Yes, 9/11. Yes, the Ghana Bar Association is electing new executives, and in fact the current executives, some of them do not want to continue. In fact, it is an area that if you decide to go for an executive position, it's a full-time job. So you might have your chamber there, and if you are not careful, nothing will happen in there. So the man on your screen, Agbesi Jakpasu, is one of the candidates and going for the GBA elections. In fact,
your voice our future.
Your voice our future. In fact, currently he's a Greater Accra Regional Bar President. And he has decided to move on to one step, or move a step higher on the ladder. So that is Agbesi Jakpasu and your Shinde. He's going, and his team, the message that he's giving to his people, what? That is how he's shortening it. What? Welfare, advocacy, training and development. So that is one of the things that he's asking the people. Then he's telling you some of the achievements of Agbesi Jakpasu, especially so when he was the president of the GBA, 2-year achievement of, and then these are some of the things that he's doing. Let me take you to the second one. It's a secure NEC approval for innovative use of MOOS platform on the GBA portal. And also virtual continuing legal education is various sections of Greater Accra Regional Bar members and extended access to members nationwide. So he has some of these things for his members and all that. So that is Agbesi Jakbasu in there is one of the favorite candidates. I know Sewa and then Lily, one of they are all rooting for.
Right.
But
those are legal, my legal sisters. So their support will not go to anything.
So these are some of the things, some policies that he's projecting or is actually analyzing for the insurance policy, affordable bar conference fees, and then when you are going to a conference fee, he's of the view that the fees are higher. So he would, as it were, come up with an affordable
an exemption for bar students.
Bad use.
Legal students.
People. So those who've been caught in the bar fresh, you have to do. They are the people who call pupils.
The pupils.
So before you get your license to operate, you have to be learning some few things. I think it's about 6 months or 2.
And you don't have to pay dues.
So he's saying that you have to pay dues, but he said that there will be an exemption
for those people.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Then digital library. So you be in the comfort of your home, and then you just be studying all that you need to study on your phone. So that is how Mensah Jakbasu. And the balloting was done last week.
Okay.
Yes. The balloting was done. The election committee conducted the ballot, and he's number 1 on your ballot. So,
and how many are they?
2. Two of them are contesting for the presidency. And I'll be telling you about the second one. Somebody you all know already.
Right.
The name, like I mentioned, same names. There you go. If I got it, what name comes to mind?
Okay.
Joe Gatti's wife.
Yeah, he did.
That's the Honorable Joe Gatti, the former Attorney General.
His wife.
In the NPP presidential primary that was run, he was in there, but unfortunately he couldn't make the cut.
I remember interviewing him, and I asked him, Mr. Gatti, so what happens if you don't make the cut? And he was like, how can you ask me if I'm not going to make the cut? The next day he withdrew from the race, and I called him to ask him, Mr. Gatti never understand. He didn't answer my call.
He didn't see the call. So that is Mrs. Efua Gatti in there. So she has also got some vision for the members, and that if she's voted for, she'll be able to do for them. But for Mrs. Efua Gatti, she has a message, and let's go and watch what Mrs. Efua Gatti has for the GBA members ahead of the elections.
Dear esteemed members of the Ghana Bar Association, it is time for us to elect new leaders for our cherished association, and I offer myself to serve as president. My vision for the Ghana Bar Association is to have a bar which is united and resolved to offer invaluable service to its members in all the different areas of practice. A bar which caters to the total well-being of its members by prioritizing their health care, facilitating career progression, and deepening their pockets. A bar that is alive to its watchdog role in the society and remains relevant in every pertinent national discourse. A bar that forges important alliances with international bars to offer exposure and new opportunities to its members in niche areas of legal practice. My track record of over 30 years of selfless service to the Ghana Bar Association and as Greater Accra Bar President is ample testament to my capabilities as a transformational leader. Please give me your mandate to serve you, and let's make the Ghana Bar Association a bar that is well recognized both locally and internationally, a bar that you can be proud of. Thank you, and God bless you.
That is Mrs. Efua Gatti. In fact, she has also been the president of the Greater Accra Regional Bar.
Oh, wow.
So two people who have had similar slots are now vying for the position. The current president, Boafo Champon, Boafo Champon is not contesting. These are fresh faces who are coming into the election. And the election, and he's number 2.
She's number 2 on the ballot.
On the ballot.
Fantastic.
Okay, so this election will take place on the 11th of September when they have the background. Then on your screen, the vice presidential race. Yes, Mr. Ebenezer Abed Kwetu is also there, and in relation to that, he is also contesting. And guess what? If you look at the presidential race, there's a gentleman and a lady.
Yes.
In the vice presidential race, it's also a gentleman and a lady.
Oh, there are two.
Yes, there you go.
Victoria
What
Bath.
do you remember about this name? Victoria Bath.
Yeah. Captain, refresh my memory.
She was the lawyer for Madame Cecilia Dapa when the OSP.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
that is the
she looks
the
relatively
lawyer for,
young here.
She looks very young.
Right.
She looks very young, but very experienced one, of course, as you can see on you. And she is also going. She's vying for the vice presidential race, and these are some of the things that she's asking the members to do, to look for. He has been and has so much international exposure, collaborations has been done and all that. And so she was a member ICC International Court of Arbitration 2024.
So this her CV.
Yes, this is more like a CV.
Right.
And these are some of the things that she's campaigning on. She's asking the people to give her the mandate so that when she becomes, and you notice that recently she was at the Institute of African Women Judges Forum. And in fact, it was a forum that is seeks to empower women to, and for her, but they're also making the case for the women to be given executive positions. So she is one of the persons. It was head of advocacy and legal ethics, Ghana School of Law. She lectures there. It's a lecturer as well. Right. So that's one of the things that you should note of Madame. And these are some of the positions that she has held before 2013 to 2015, Secretary Continuing Legal Education Committee, up to the 2023 as we speak. She's a member ad hoc committee for drafting and general legal counsel guidelines on continuing professional development.
Interesting.
Number 2.
On the ballot.
So for the vice presidential race,
it's quite curious because the two women are also and the gentlemen are number one. Interesting.
Yes. So
interesting.
Madame Victoria Bath is also on there. So for those who are, unfortunately, those of us who are here, we don't even have a vote.
Our votes don't matter.
So those who have a vote,
we can just admire.
These are the, you can only admire. You can only throw your support. But of course, maybe the only way you can have confidence, think that I have confidence in this person or that person. So that is this for the presidential race and the vice presidential race. But there are others who are also contesting for various positions and all that. But let me walk you through the rest of the names or those who will be contesting. In fact, the Deputy General Secretary, Juan Aurelius Ewuku, and then Antoinette Esquire, they are contesting or competing for the Deputy General Secretary. And the remaining, those that I'm coming to mention, all of them are going unopposed. There's no challenger.
Oh, okay.
So an affirmation. All those in favor say aye. Parliament will come in.
The ayes have it.
So the General Secretary is Kweku Jehu Bafo. He's going unopposed. Then public relations is a Savior Kuje. Is going also unopposed.
Oh, Savior is friendly to the media.
Absolutely,
very,
he's a
very
media-friendly person. In fact, anytime you call upon him,
Savior is always
available.
And one thing I like about him is that if he does not have the information, he'll tell you clearly that okay, I'm not too. So let me get my.
He can tell you the number of times that I worry him.
Exactly,
yes, I worry him a lot. And then the vice, the vice PRO, assistant PRO is Laurentia Adika, and then the treasurer. The treasurer is also going unopposed. So these are some of the slots or positions that are available for grab. Of course, some of them will already know their fate even before the election day. So the bar conference will be held between the week starting from the 9th of September. That's usually about a month from now to the 13th of September.
So it's a Monday to Friday.
It's a Monday to Friday.
And then
the elections will be on the 11th.
Right.
That is where people will know their fate. That is where you know. Like Sir John will say, fear delegates. The late Sir John would say, fear delegates. And you know those who are smiling with you, but unfortunately you will not see the individual people who voted for you. You can only count numbers. Then you look at all these people. But have you stood for an election right from school up onto this stage, and how was the experience?
No, I have never been voted for. I've just been appointed a couple of times.
So you have
as school prefect, no voting.
Oh
yes,
you have been. There was nobody to challenge.
I didn't have to lobby anybody. But maybe someday, somehow, maybe
You have okay.
Yeah,
that's very interesting
in my family. Mensah, thank you so much for bringing us exactly caught today and all the things happening in the legal world.
Very interesting interview with Naomi Bole Alabi. She's a lecturer, a law lecturer.
Oh, okay.
And the conversation we have with her, you enjoy it. So
you don't have to miss that. You don't have to miss that. Mutala, thank you so much. All right, let's check out what is happening in the papers this morning. Newspaper, the Daily Graphic this morning says Cocoa Board invests 942 million cedis on farms, according to the chief executive, and it has the picture of Wainedu on the front page of the Daily Graphic. There's also chiefs deserve bigger role in governance, Vice President says at Homowo. It's pleasant to be vindicated. That's according to John Dramani Mahama, and it's in relation to the OSP's vindication of John Mahama in the Airbus scandal. So that's it on the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning. The Daily Guide newspaper says, reject Mahama's return to power. That's according to Dr. Baumia. It also has the story of Cocoa Board investing 943 million cedis in cocoa farms for increased yields. And then 5 million euro Airbus scandal, OSP's investigation of whitewash, according to Ernest Owusu Bempam. And then court exonerates Tobinco over fake drugs claim. Then there's also union petitions energy ministry over OCTP unitization. And that's all on the front page of the Daily Guide. The Daily Dispatch this morning says 2024 elections, accept defeat gracefully, hand power to political leaders. That's the Minister for National Security. And there's also, will the results of December 7 elections reflect God's will? It's also there. NPP's Asiedu Bekwin to retain Suhum's seat for NPP. That's on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper this morning. Let's do the Chronicle newspaper. Also has the story of the Airbus scandal. Ejaben did a shoddy job, says fixing the country movement. Also, Tobinco did not import fake drugs, that's according to a quote. NYEA outlines achievements after 2 years, and I'm very curious about these achievements and how they've actually reflected in the lives of the youth in the country. Then coming attraction on the top of the front of the Chronicle, government official 1, Mahama has a huge scandal hanging on his head. Read a book on in the Chronicle near you tomorrow. So that's what they say we should anticipate tomorrow. The new Crusading Guide this morning says, withdraw regressive conditions on Afina discovery. ENI, Ghana and Petroleum Workers Union demand. There's also Airbus unparalleled achievements in 2 years, and success of new GSA law depends on industry collaboration. That's according to the CEO of the Standards Authority. Tobinco didn't import fake drugs. The court rules. Western North Regional MPP organizer praises Second Lady for revitalizing party. Has a picture of Samira Baumia on the front page of the new Crusading Guide. Now, the Informer this morning says Airbus investigations, OSP commended, and he has a picture of Kisi Jabin smiling in the right corner of the paper, and Daniel Yaudomelevo, former Auditor General, also on the left side of the paper there. And Chief endorses Baumia, confess in Tintain Kesehine on him. Okay, so Internet Chief on Dr. Baumia there. So Dr. Baumia is now Internet Chief. Okay. Illegal lotto operators, NLA gets tough, gives 255 commission to writers. Okay, and then Ghana pursues value addition in terms of increasing foreign exchange reserves. All right, so NLA is giving 25% commission rather to writers. That's on the front page of the Informer newspaper. And then the Ghanaian Observer this morning says Nkrofo chiefs accept Napo's apology over Nkrumah comment. Napo is smiling on the front page there. Then there's also Airbus bribery scandal. Mahama and his brother have questions to answer. That's according to the group. And that group is fixing the country movement. Also Bempe's group there. Foreign Minister calls for intra-Commonwealth trade and investment. And there's also SIGA to launch SOEs in focus, highlighting role of SOEs in Ghana's economic development. And SDGs implementation demands greater collaboration. Professor Macron is saying that on the front page of the Ghanaian Observer. The new publisher this morning, Mahama can't escape his Airbus scandal, fixing the country, wake sleeping dogs. Right there. Then there's also Charlotte Osei calls her removal as EC chair petty unnecessary. Okay, and NAPO pushes for house-to-house campaign. That's the running mate to Dr. Baumia there, pushing for the house-to-house campaign ahead of the elections in December. So very soon, like we probably told you, the politicians, they are coming. And when they come, they'll come and tell you so many things. They'll help you cook. They might even give you some ginger and garlic, everything, so long as it makes you okay. But then make sure that you are pushing and demanding what they are going to do to make your life better. Simplicity. NDC chairman accused of making party unattractive, and UMAT student wins Miss Geek Ghana 2024, all on the front page of the new publisher. Hide nothing, fear nothing. That's what they say. Let's move on to the Ghanaian publisher this morning. NLA raises Lotto commission to 25%. Yay, writers are excited. And then Airbus bribery scandal, OSP's report on Mahama, a total whitewash. Offenso North, NPP boiling. Executives accuse PC of stoking division. And High Court clears Tobinko of fake drugs allegations. And stop behaving like a landguard. Family tells Accra Regional Minister. Oh, okay, right. So that's a family there telling the Greater Accra Regional Minister that he should stop behaving like a land guard. Okay. Napo Pace gets a call on traditional rulers in Nzima, and he has a picture of Napo. It looks like he's trying to give the chief a high five. Beautiful picture there on the front page of the Ghanaian publisher. And that's our final paper for this morning. There is more. We have the breakfast review segment right after this. Stick and stay with us. And remember to connect with us via social media. I would like to hear from you. Thank you so much for staying on with us. And we are getting into the segments now. We are going to talk about some topical issues that are of concern to you. And I'm sure that you definitely find this really engaging. Remember, we are also streaming live on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube. So get interactive with us. Be sure to read some of your messages during the course of the conversation. And this morning, I'm privileged to be joined by the Member of Parliament for Jirapa, Cletus. I like that name a lot. Cletus Seidu Dapila. Cletus, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very well.
And your weekend has been good?
Well, our weekend was so good.
Really?
I just returned from the Upper West region where precisely over the weekend, that was Saturday, we launched our campaign. The campaign launch was preceded with a victory walk or a health walk. It was massive, very mama one. So the people of Upper West are ready for change.
Right.
Let me use your medium to commend the regional chairman and his executives and all the stalwarts that came to support us organize this campaign launch. Particularly the Venerable Haruna Idrisu, Malik Basentale, and all the PCs from the Upper West region.
Right.
And all the constituency chairmen and their executives, they did a good job. The organizers, more grease to their elbow. Chairman Bonas, you and your team did very well. We're so impressed. And the message was loud and clear that everybody wants change.
Right.
And I believe change will surely come.
So talking about Jirapa, how is Jirapa doing?
Fantastic, very well. Jirapa is doing very well. We are not 100%.
Right.
But I can tell you we've been able to do a lot of interventions. And we are still doing it. As I'm talking to you, I have a team of, I am looking at drilling 50 boreholes in my first term as an MP. 50 boreholes. So I'm at 37.
Okay,
37.
so you have 13 more to go.
So I have 13 more to go. Next week, I'm drilling 7.
Okay.
So I'm going to get the 50.
You made that milestone.
I'll make that milestone.
Amazing.
So as I'm talking, those that I've drilled, I've asked that they should be installed. So the team currently this morning, I said they should go to a community called Ping, they should go to Kene, they should go to Ultuopare, they should go to Ulpong to install their boreholes today for them. So the team is on it, they are on their way. So we are working.
Interesting.
We are working.
Interesting. So on the national level, I mean, last week, we had the Office of the Special Prosecutor come out with their findings regarding the Airbus scandal, and the Special Prosecutor himself, Kisija Jabeng, also addressed the media and told us updates on that. There was some exoneration completely for former President John Dramani Mahama in terms of his alleged role. We are told by the OSP that former president, there was nothing to tie him to any form of corruption or corruption-related activities regarding the Airbus scandal. But, I mean, the NPP has also, there have been a barrage of reactions. We've heard from Fixing the Country movement. They say the OSP did a very shoddy job on this.
Yes, you see, my brother, let me use your medium once again to tell people that this politics we are doing, and I see people who go to church, I see people who go to mosques, I see people who do all sort of prayers, and who knows that one day they will die. Yet all they know in their political career is to tell lies, go and sit down and concoct stories, fake stories, tie it around somebody. You see, President Mahama have always said that posterity will be his judge. That man, if you look at his demeanor, he is somebody who has Ghana at heart. He is somebody who just didn't come into office to amass wealth. I can tell you on authority that he doesn't have money. He's been a deputy minister, he's been a minister, he's been vice president, he's been president. But President Mahama doesn't have the kind of money that we see even ministers having today in this current administration. He doesn't have that kind of money. It tells you that he did not lose the state. You understand? But the NPP, because people love the man, people just love him naturally. So all they thought they could do was that, look, this man, if we don't throw mud at him, he will win the elections. Ghanaians love him so much, so let's tack him with corruption.
So this Airbus scandal was totally a machination?
It was totally
against his
a machination,
integrity?
very baseless, just something that was not necessary. You understand? The man never did that. He has always explained that, look, You've been in office. This is your 8th year. If I did something untoward, why do you allow me a free man moving around?
Well, because the investigation was still ongoing.
You understand? So he has always said it. So President Mahama, the OSP has vindicated President Mahama. The OSP has vindicated the National Democratic Congress that, look, your leader didn't do anything untoward as far as Airbus was concerned. The MPP deliberately, using their so-called media, they just try to use the media to throw mud at the humble giant. President Mahama is not corrupt, I can tell you. President Mahama loved Ghana. That's why he served in various capacities. He became president, he left office. He doesn't have the kind of money that he should have had.
How do you know that?
Oh, I know.
And how do
I'm
Ghanaians,
close to him.
And how do Ghanaians get to believe what you're saying?
I'm a member of parliament. You should know I work with him. I was his appointee. He appointed me DCE for Jirapa. So I've been close to President Mahama. I know when somebody has money. I know how he struggled to go around to campaign. You understand? If he has that kind of money, he will not be struggling.
But he could have and not let you know.
No. Because why? He wants to win the elections, and he will want to do everything to win the elections. So if he has money, I'm telling you that you would have seen that money in him. He doesn't have that kind of money. So the OSP, I know your own party will go after you because they think that this is not even the right time for you to have done the press conference. You understand? They didn't expect that the press conference should have been held, particularly
you think the party was not aware?
Well,
that the OSP was going to deliver.
Even if they were aware, but probably they didn't know, or they wouldn't even know what he was coming to say. Otherwise, I believe they would have stopped him because
you think the OSP would have been stopped?
Let me tell you, the Airbus thing is one of the issues that the MPP was going to start raising just a few months to the elections. So now the OSP has shut it down. You cannot talk about it. You can't talk about it. You understand?
But I mean, the office of the special prosecutor is a state agent as it stands now.
Yes.
And you think the government would have had the power to be able to shut it down from telling Ghanaians about the findings?
That is why I'm answering your question. You are saying that do I think that the party wasn't aware of? And I say yes. Even if they were aware that, or if they are aware that he was coming to do a press conference, but they wouldn't know what he was coming to say. And I'm sure if they knew, they would have done everything possible for him not to do the press conference. But
a party does a party have that authority?
Yeah, naturally, Kisi Ajabin is one of them. He's an MPP member. He is. So they could talk to him. They could reach out to him that, look, this issue, don't bring it at this material moment because it's one of the issues that we are going to campaign on. But all that I was saying is that, look, you are a politician. You know you will die. And you want to go to heaven, yet you can go and sit down and concoct stories about somebody. And you think you will get away with it free. All of us will pay the price. A judgment day will come. A day of reckoning is coming. That you will have to account for every lie that you have told against anybody.
So where is the concoction in this?
The concoction is that President Mahama didn't do anything in the Airbus. He didn't do anything untoward. He was a president. Look, are you saying that today, none of those children, are they not doing business? Are they not into business? None of those relatives, are their companies not working? You understand? So if Samuel Mahama, who has been working with Airbus, who has supplied military jets to other companies using Airbus, that's his work. You understand? So because his brother was president, he should not do any business. So because of the name Samuel Mahama, they just tag President Mahama that, some corruption might have taken place. And they believe that, President Mahama took a cut, blah, blah, blah. So he needed to be investigated.
But the OSP says, well, there was some communication between President Mahama and Airbus, even though it was with the best of intentions. And that's why he's even proposing that going forward, we should have persons in authority not distance themselves to distance themselves from such communications, especially when it has to do with commercial agreements. My brother.
What do businessmen go to Jubilee House to do today? What do they go there to do? They go to engage the president. They go to engage the vice president with all sort of business deals, business proposals. You cannot run a country like that. You can't run a country or a nation without engaging the president. If investors are coming, some investors, they will need the buy-in of the government of the day. You understand? So you cannot do such business without engaging the powers that be, particularly the presidency. You understand? But the fact is that President Mahama didn't do anything untoward. President Mahama is genuine. He's very clean. He did not do anything to benefit directly. He wanted Ghana to benefit from the deal. That's what he did. But his detractors thought that, look, let's just say that this man took money. This man benefited from it. Let's tell Ghanaians that he did something corruption as far as this deal was concerned, which wasn't true. So today, if I were MPP, they should not come to attack the OSP.
They said he whitewashed President.
No. The OSP will not do that. The OSP will not do that. He doesn't have that kind of relationship with President Mahama or the NDC. The OSP will never do that. He won't do that. He wouldn't, because he's one of them. He's one of them. And I don't think that that man will love President Mahama than his own party. I know the level of politics he was into before his appointment. He's a blue MPP member, a thick blue member of the MPP. So there's no way he will want to whitewash something that President Mahama is involved. He doesn't have that kind of relation with.
Even though the accusation is that, well, he's had a lot of issues with the governing party as it stands now. For which reason?
That is their own cup of tea. Right. I don't want to go into that. That's their own cup of tea. You see, for me, corruption is one thing that is not helping this country. We have individuals, when they find their way into government, they want to make money. They want to make money more than the state. Ghana is blessed with all manner of resources, but it has not benefited us as a country. Individuals, when one is appointed a minister, give him 1 year, 2 years, he's so rich that people will go and queue in his house to take money. He's so rich that he can do anything. He's so rich that he can say anything. You understand? Where is he getting the money from? It's from dubious contracts, dubious, kickbacks, monies that are supposed to benefit millions of Ghanaians. Individuals will sit down using procurement. And one person who has always condemned the Procurement Act. It's a very useless thing.
The Procurement Act, as it stands now?
As it stands now, it's very hopeless.
How so?
It is the bane of corruption in this country. The procurement law. No, they have to revisit it. Because why? People just sit down. Look, okay, there's a tender. There is a project for companies to tender. Okay? Then somebody says that, okay, we are selling 5 lots. 5 lots. And the 5 lots, I am telling you that they can let one person buy the 5 lots with different companies. That is what they do. That is what they do. So it is the bane of corruption in this country, the procurement law. That is, if you want corruption, where corruption is I don't know what to say. If you want where corruption breeds, go to the procurement authority. All the ministries and agencies, they hide under the Procurement Act, that office, to perpetuate corruption in this country. That's what they do. So if we come as NDC, I am telling you, is one of the areas, that one of the offices that will tackle seriously.
The PPA.
And ensure value for money for the state.
The Public Procurement Authority.
Yes. Yes, that is where the millions, that's where the siphoning is done. That is where they sit down in the name of procurement and loot this country. Monies that are supposed to go benefit millions of people. They will go and sit there using pen and paper to defraud this state and make one person so rich that, look, but my brother, where Ghana is heading towards, if we are not careful, what we are doing, we will soon reach the Nigeria situation, where individuals will have money, but they won't have peace to enjoy the money. Because if youth unemployment is hovering around 14%, and you alone think that you can have money to enjoy, the youth, they will turn into all sort of social vices and they'll come after you. So you won't even have the luxury to enjoy your wealth. So I'm telling colleague politicians and people in authority, Let's try to do everything to create jobs for the team youth. That is all that they need. They've gone to school, they've completed, they have all the certificates. No job opportunities for them. And yet individuals want to have money, amass wealth to themselves, so that you alone can always enjoy life. No, you won't have a sound mind. You won't sleep well. Your family will be harassed. Your children will go to school and people will come after them in the name of kidnapping. So you enjoy the wealth. So if people are thinking that, if no matter what happened, I am rich, I have money. No, you will run away from this country with all your money.
But as it stands now, the MPP, for instance, says that, we've heard from Fixing the Country, the group led by Osu Bempa, and he's talking about the fact that we should have another agency look into this thing and then afford President Mahama the opportunity to come and clear himself for all Ghanaians to see, because they don't believe in the work that the OSP has done so far.
Well, what I'm saying is that as for the MPP, they will never believe what the OSP has done. But that is the truth. They can go bend the sea, but that is the bare truth. President Mahama did nothing untoward. Well, apart from the OSP, they have other investigative bodies that can also investigate this matter. You understand? They have the charges there. The CID is there. The NIB is there. There are so many state agencies. They can still go and commission one to still also go and do their investigation. It will come to nothing. It will come to nothing, because I tell you that the OSP, as a member of the New Patriotic Party, will not whitewash anything that President Mahama is involved. So they are wasting their time.
So
the truth has come out.
Is this confidence in the OSP you are expressing? Or when it comes to the NDC and President Mahama, you believe that the OSP would not have any favors to do the party?
The OSP, he's done a good job. And for me, since he came, he's been working well. He's been working well. And that is why he incurred the wrath of his own party. That's why the MPP people are disliking him. That's why they don't like him, because they think that he's been too honest. He does, his investigations well. And that is how to fight corruption. If you put somebody at the center, if you put somebody at the center of fighting corruption, you need to give the person the needed support. Let the person do his work. You understand? First and foremost, the person should be somebody who is not corrupt, who cannot be corrupted. You understand? And that is what Kisi has been demonstrated. And that is why the MPP dislike him, even though he is a member of the MPP. And I even heard some machinations to remove him from office and all of that. We've been waiting for that to come.
Anyways, well, let me get to some messages on Facebook. And Senior Sly says Ghana is moving to the wrong and worst direction under this corrupt mentors, Kufuor Baumia MPP government. They have failed totally. Let's kick them out, period. That's Sly sending in on Facebook. Junior Pato says he's loving the conversation. Tahir Ibrahim is giving thumbs up. Baban Yaya Jallo Hakan says the Mahama administration left 5 batches of nurses without hiring them. All these batches were cleared by the Kufuor government for employment. Aswanse is still calling Honorable Muntaka Mubarak to come face to face with Manaf Ibrahim to tell us the youth of Aswanse for the 24 years what he has done for us. Okay. He also asks, it says, Mr. Host, how can that be a clearance after the USA and the UK had issued indictments with hard evidence of bribery, even mentioning the amount government official one took? If bribes were not paid, how come Airbus was made to pay a very, very heavy penalty? Okay, he continues. It's quite a long one there. And then Damascus Yao says the USA and UK did that because according to their laws, you can't engage in business like that where there are other companies in competition. You engage the one with your family relative. That was their reason. Okay, so keep the conversation on Facebook. And okay, Kotoro says MPP must go. How can you be in power and still be promising us? That's what he says. Well, let me introduce into the conversation this morning our next guest, Nana Fredua Oforiata. He is the board chair of National Theatre. Nana, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
I hope you're doing well.
God's grace.
And you had a wonderful weekend?
I think it's expressed in my lateness.
I didn't have to say it. Nana has said it himself. But Nana, the issue is the Airbus scandal. and the OSP's verdict on it. The investigations is conducted. The office has conducted from 2020 till date. They say, well, there's no corruption or corruption-related issues pertaining former President John Dramani Mahama. For the NDC, it's vindication of what they already knew. But members of the NPP are not excited about it. They say the OSP is whitewashing this. Is that a view you also hold?
There's a third view that nobody ever likes to talk about. The view of what's good for Ghana. We'll talk about that. Today, the OSP is not the Mr. Kisi Ejabio, but the OSP is a member of the NPP. An office that Parliament endorsed. When he was employed, was he employed as a party member? Why do we do this to ourselves? Interest of Ghana. Now he's gone and come up with a view. It's not a judgment, it's a view that he has. And there are sides to that view. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing wrong with it. You can't expect the NDC to be unhappy. You can't. They expect the NDC to be unhappy. You can't expect the NPP to be happy on this particular viewpoint. But what about what is good for Ghana? And what is really the truth? Because it's the OSP's view based on what he thinks he must look for. But there are all kinds of questions. Somebody just sent you points about what the US
and the UK
have as laws. We sit in Ghana, demand of ourselves that our leadership should not be corrupt or corrupted. Corrupt or corrupted. So everything about it, whether it's law or convention or influence or thinking, must be something we must be worried about. The OSP didn't say that Mr. Mahama wasn't involved in anything. It's as far as knowing the people and what was going on. They just said they don't have enough evidence to show that he took money or influenced the taking of money.
Right. Because what in the conversation he had, it was basically for the good of the country. Now, with no ill intents.
Now, how is it that in Ghana we think that way? And then the source of our problem, which is that company trying to come in to do business with us and having to do all the things that apparently did in order to get into Ghana. How come Mr. Mahama didn't know anything about that? That's the question. And that's why people would refer you back to the US and to the UK and say, how come they figured that something untoward happened? And somehow we've decided that nothing happened. And we don't have enough to show beyond what we think. What's the physical, the material evidence to prove it? How have you prosecuted that? Where did it come from? These are real questions. So yes, the NPP is unsatisfied. The NDC is happy to the point where today they claim that although it's an MPP office, not even the man himself, but the office.
The office is MPP.
Please,
No, but I didn't say that.
Yes, you did. Let them play you the tape.
I didn't say that.
Let them play you the tape.
Say that the office is
Let
MPP
them play you the tape.
So I'll give you the opportunity to clarify that particular.
In your zeal to do the things you wanted to do, you slipped. Now I'm taking advantage of your slip. You are unhappy. You see, we need to think ultimately about tomorrow. Ultimately about tomorrow. We will make mistakes along the way, but let's not commit ourselves to supporting our mistakes. Let's not commit ourselves to supporting our mistakes. The fundamental thing, and I raised the question about the interest of Ghana, maybe even Ghanaians haven't expressed it clearly. But are we interested in creating an environment where it's all right to be right according to your political party alone? Is that what we want? And I think that even my party must be asked the same question. Is it that, are we looking for only the interests of a party? as opposed to the interest of Ghana and Ghanaians. And so when somebody has been involved in an environment that we don't like, a corrupted or corrupt environment, how do we raise that person to be all right? Why do you get yourself mixed up in it? If there's evidence that you knew things about it and did nothing, are you supposed to be let off? So it raises those questions too. And we're talking about going to the topmost office in this country. And we think it's all right.
Even though the special prosecutor himself said...
He didn't say that he didn't know about what's going on.
No, he mentioned...
He didn't get involved in it.
Exactly. And he mentioned that
and
the conversation that GHOne Mahama had was for the good of the country.
But he didn't say he didn't know what was going on.
And that's why he raised the fundamental issue that going forward, we should have a situation where persons in authority do not have to meddle in these things.
Because somehow he knew. What kind of language is that you just expressed? That's my point. That there's evidence that he didn't get involved, according to the OSP. But is there evidence that he didn't know about what was going on? And the question is raised based on what other jurisdictions, and by the way, jurisdictions we tend to look up to when it's convenient for us. When it's convenient, it will be like the Americans. When it's convenient, be like the British. When it's convenient, as for us Ghanaians, we don't do that. Hey. And these are the standards we need to set for ourselves as a people for tomorrow. It's crucial. So for me, like I said, NDC will have its way, MPP will have its way. They'll all take our positions. We all will take our positions. By the way, I do support what the NPP is raising, questions about what's going on. But the real question is, when all is settled, do we want our standards to be lowered so that if somebody who knew about the corrupt acts is all right, is it all right? That one is all right? Because we do the same thing on the streets. We see a police officer taking money and we turn our eyes. We don't hold the police officer to ransom. We see somebody doing something with your electricity, taking money they are not supposed to take, doing all kinds of things. We let it pass. And the easy thing is, if I go and say it, they won't do anything about it.
But
that's the country we live in.
In this instance,
so does this now
has corruption been established?
It has.
No.
Oh, what's the no for? I thought that's why we referred to the US and the UK.
That they had concerns.
Who had concerns?
The UK and US about President Mahama's involvement, and Kissi Jabin was asked to look into it.
I'm saying, your fundamental question was there something wrong somewhere?
I'm asking if corruption has been established.
Hasn't it been established in the US and the UK?
Has it?
No. Has it not? Why was it in court? No, tell me. Maybe I don't know something.
But the court has discharged the case. The court
you understand?
Nobody did anything untoward.
So
the UK court.
If it's been established there in some form, then we have more questions to answer.
Because, and that's what I'm asking, was it really established that there was acts of corruption and that President Mahama knew of?
And I'm saying, unless I've missed something, maybe you need to help me out.
Right.
I'm saying it's sincere.
I am not privy to any established corruption.
So what are we arguing for?
President Mahama's involvement.
What are we arguing for that?
And that's why the special prosecutor said that was the only thing that was off.
So what is our problem?
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's go back into it and ask further questions and clarify. For those who claim victory, let them be firmly established. For those who claim disgruntledness, let them firmly understand whether they are right or wrong. So that's, for me, ultimately that's what it is.
But how do we establish?
But the bigger question is,
right,
if there was and somebody knew about it but didn't get involved in it, is that person exonerated? That's a question in the air.
Sidhu.
That's a question in the air.
Right.
Is he my senior brother?
We're going back and forth on this.
My senior brother.
No, it's just a question.
No, I just give him. I'm giving him an opportunity to
retort, and then I'll get mine.
I can understand where he's coming from.
Right.
You see, an investigation has been conducted by no less a person than the OSP. Mm-hmm. The OSP has come out to say that, look, President Mahama did not indulge in any corruption as far as the Airbus issue was concerned. You understand? Mm-hmm. And that, yes, even the role President Mahama played was even in the interest of the state. But you see, my brother, coming from the MPP, wouldn't even accept that the OSP did a good job. The OSP is more or less the referee. He is the one who looked into the issues. Besides that, the UK court, they have discharged the issues. They have acquitted and said that no corruption took place. So the case itself has been discharged in the UK court. So what are we trying to say, my brothers and friends in the MPP? President Mahama, you see, that's why I tell you that, look, they will always find a way to tag President Mahama as a corrupt person. But I'm telling you that President Mahama is never a corrupt person. President Mahama is never a corrupt person. Look, if today, Data Bank, what's the relationship of Data Bank with the president? Who is the owner of Data Bank? What's the relationship? Do you know businesses that Data Bank benefited? So will you say that President Nanado didn't know that Data Bank has been transacting business with government, and because he's the president and his cousin owns Data Bank, you think President Akufo-Addo is not aware? So I just want to say that don't come and sit and say that because President Mahama's brother, who has been doing business with Airbus before his brother even became president. So once my brother is president, so I shouldn't transact any business. You understand? That is all that my brothers are saying. So the MPP, they are bleeding. They are not happy. Particularly is one of the issues that they were going to begin to talk about to President Mahama. So they have to go back to the drawing board again. But what I'm telling you...
So you believe that this has toppled the campaign of...
Yeah, you cannot talk about it. You only be a mad person if you continuously talking about something that that has been investigated and they said nothing untoward happened. On what platform would you go and sit down and to still say that President Mahama did something untoward with the Airbus issue? You cannot. You understand? And nobody will listen to you. No meaningful Ghanaian will listen to you except maybe the MPP people, which I even know that decent MPP people will not even listen to anybody. Now, my last submission, I never said the OSP office is an MPP office. I never said that.
You said Kisi Ajabin is blue MPP.
Ajabin is MPP man. Everybody knows that. He himself knows that he's an MPP man. You understand? That is what I said. I never said the office is an MPP office.
Okay. Nana?
Well, what he said is recorded. But here's the point I still insist on. That ultimately is about what comes out finally.
Right.
And by the way, if there is a belief that this is the campaign, I think that's a laugh. After Nana Akufo-Addo's 8 years in office, the campaign will be whether Mr. Mahama was involved in some corrupt deal or not. That would be the campaign. The real issues are on the ground. This one is because you media houses make, and then of course we had a reaction that we put out. But the real issues are on the ground. The good news is on the ground. Real people are living it. So if people think that this is the campaign, I'm sorry. Then they haven't been listening to Alhaji Bawumia.
Your campaign is anchored on what President Akufo-Addo has achieved over the period, and that is going to be the anchor.
Yes,
right.
There's no doubt about it, and they can't match the achievements. So they're able to grab on these things because they get to call people names and things like that, and then they think that those emotions are what attract Ghanaians. You go on the ground and see. Wow. Some people may be caught into it, Like he tried to say that it's MPP people who will be caught up in this, the same way, NDC people, but the real people on the ground eventually. So if you think that's your angle to campaigning, that's your problem, that's fine. We'll do ours and we'll see how it works out. And finally,
right.
Finally, I think it's important that we establish this. When we're looking for ways to make things better, let's not leave it at a partisan position. Let's not. The standard should be high. And then if a party believes in that standard, they should exhibit it. That's what's important. So like I said initially, if by the time all is said and done, and by the way, I need to make this very clear. I have never, in all of my political life and in appearances on any levels of public, called Mr. Mahama a corrupt person.
You personally have not?
No. There's no reason for me to. You see, when you make an allegation like that, and it's personal, you must prove it. We're talking about a corrupted environment, and whether he played a role in making it corrupt, that's a different story. So we should be very clear about that. So back to my point. Therefore, when we're talking about these things, let's make sure that ultimately the objective is to build a society where we can hold people responsible regardless of their political position. Because yes, when you're in office, you can take advantage of your situation and do things wrong. And office is not necessarily being in government. People in opposition, but in powerful positions in opposition, it can be equally influential and be corrupted or corrupt. So let's not pretend as if it's only in government. And then every time a party changes office, then another batch of corrupt people are coming. That's what we mean. No, we want to nip that thing. So there are emotions and all of that, but where's the reality? And that's the point I made at the beginning. The interest of the Ghanaian. So let's see. The dust will settle.
So clearly, this will not have an impact whatsoever on your campaign.
I doubt it. I doubt it. If there was going to be an impact, it would be against the NDC.
How so?
Because that's why they are very happy to hear what they've heard. Because if it was a different way, this is not the argument they would make. So they would be losing if it was a different way. And this way they need to protect. So they are strong and vociferous about it. Those are the things they have as a campaign tool.
Is that why Brian Champon is saying that, well, you have the imams, you have the pastors, you have the traditionalists, you're going to use every means to win the election?
I don't think he's wrong, is he? If you have pastors and imams on your side, what does that mean? Mega prayer warrioring.
So it's about prayer warrioring?
Well, if you find his comment interesting, when you break it down, what is the strength of those people you refer to? You understand my point? Yeah. You find his comment interesting enough to put it on your program. Then what's the essence of it? The essence is that we're going to use all the good routes that we need to make sure that we win this election. And if a good route is an imam, and you know what an imam does, an imam speaks truth to power as much as they can. They pray. That's what a pastor does. That's what we expect of them. Yeah. And if that's the case, I think we're in good hands.
And the NDC doesn't have that?
Well, that's not for me to say. It's for us to talk about what we have.
Yeah.
The competition may be with them, but it is for the votes of the Ghanaian people. And as far as as far as I'm concerned, I'm more interested in the Ghanaian people's votes than fighting against the NDC. If we're looking for the good of the people, my experience has taught me, and I've been around for a while, my experience has taught me that it is the Ghanaian votes that are most important. It is the Ghanaian votes that gave Nana Akufo-Addo and the NPP power. And if the NPP is going to continue to do the good work that's been started, President Akufo-Addo did a great job. We saw how things went down after him. And look at where we've gone back up to. Development, infrastructure, social welfare issues. We're up there. People don't want to see that. Those who don't want to see it, don't want to see it. But the reality is that we're up there. If you're getting your roads done, if you're getting power and put in right places, if your agriculture is being straightened out so that there is growth, everything should be working, then it is up to you to take advantage of those things. When Nana Akufo-Addo is said and done with his office, I don't think he'll wrap up the health facilities being put up and take them home. He definitely won't bring it all to JB. Otherwise, we'll be overburdened with health facilities. You know what I'm saying? All these businesses that have come into town that people know about, but don't want to talk about, and yet they take their people there to get employed. All these businesses that are making investments, mega investments in Ghana, not just in coming to sell their products, but they're also investing in the Ghanaian people, doing training. You know, Toyota and others, they've set up training schools in Ghana, training engineers. So things are going on the ground. That's why I say this topic, it's you, the media, who are going to make it a chewing thing. But the real thing is on the ground. We know where the issues are. Issues of mega concern, inflation. We know those things. And if you've looked, you know that Akufo-Addo and Bawumia and their team have worked very hard to bring inflation down as much as possible. And I don't think they've stopped. I don't think they have stopped.
Right.
And so there's evidence of those. Those are real issues. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. But we must also look at our role in it. We must look at our role in it and deal with those truths too. So all in all, this issue, yeah, that's fine. And I don't think that Mr. Champong, Dr. Champong, said anything wrong in emphasizing where our strengths are. We're going to win this election, not because we stole it, rigged it, or did whatever that people like to pretend that they think we're going to do. I grow up from. When you go, just a quick comment.
Right.
When you go to the Electoral Commission and you hear about the what do you call that group? The IPAC.
Yes.
And you hear about the behavior of the NDC. When you're done, let you and your folks, reporters, go and find out from all these parties who meet exactly what happens when they go there. Doing everything in the world to disrupt activities, just to create a situation.
Well, they said they are being vigilant.
And then
so they prevent your party from rigging the election.
So check this out, vigilant. We're talking about real issues on the ground. When even small parties point at you and say, stop what you're doing. Small parties tell the NDC people to stop the disruptions. What does that mean? I say, I've thrown it out to the public and I've thrown the challenge to you. Come back next time if we have the privilege of being in your studio and ask me and tell me that I was wrong.
Well,
the real thing on the ground, they're just out to create disruptions, look for untruths, call people names. That's what they're in for. The real issues they never deal with.
Cletus, they say they are in elections in December. By every means, they have the imams, they have the pastors, they have the traditionalists. Nana is telling us that, well, are going to form.
Let me start from where my brother landed. You see, bro, the NDC is not a party that just rant or make noise. When after the registration, the Electoral Commission churned out different figures. You remember, it took the NDC and its election directorate, Dr. Omane Buama and Co, to come out to say that please, this figure is wrong. The EC has come out to say that they use an IT data that gave them the wrong figure. They admitted. So we should have kept quiet over it. If we talk about such things, you are conducting elections that is crucial for this country. And if you, after registration, if you change out wrong figures, we should keep quiet. If DVD machines are missing in your office, we should keep quiet. My big brother, we will not keep quiet over such things. The Electoral Commission ought to know that people's eyes are on them. All eyes are on them. So you cannot do some of these things and say that as a party we should not talk. We will talk. We just don't talk. We come out with the evidence. How can you tell us that DVD machines are missing in your custody? Just like that, and we know what one DVD machine can do. You understand? So we are just not ranting, bro. We are not ranting. We are being honest. We are saying that we don't want EC to favor us. But if EC should do the right thing.
Right.
We want a transparent, clean, and fair elections. We don't want any favor because we know that Ghanaians will vote against the MPP.
But they say that the work on the grounds prove otherwise.
Let me tell you, my brother and his party, why? Why is the General Secretary of the MPP crying just after visiting one region? You didn't hear his post?
He says he's going to call them to order.
Yes, because the grounds, because they are not in touch. The electors and the voters, there is a gap now because they have forgotten of the people. So they don't even know the real issues as he's talking about. Your own General Secretary is saying that all is not well on the ground, my brother Nana Pridwa. That's what your own General Secretary is saying. After just visiting one region, he was so disappointed, he developed BP, and he had to share his frustration. He had to share his frustration through his Facebook wall.
He developed what?
Yeah?
He developed what?
His BP started rising. Because that's not what he expected. That's not what my friend...
disappointment was huge.
The disappointment was so huge that he could not even stomach it. He had to voice it out through his Facebook handle. That is how bad it is for you people on the ground. When it comes to the ground, to be very honest with you, Ghanaians are disappointed in MPP. I'm not saying this because I'm an NDC. I just returned from my constituency. I just returned from my region. Nana, all is not well with the Ghanaian voter. The Ghanaian voter is so disappointed. The despair, the despondency is so high on the faces of every voter in this country. Look, unemployment, Nana, is 14% plus. People cannot even feed. 2 square meals is a problem for people. You go to the university campuses, people can't pay their fees. They cannot pay. You understand? All is not well. Go to all the state institutions, whether education, whether health, whether agri, everywhere, all is not well in this country. All is not well. Prices of goods and services keep on rising without corresponding increase in salaries, wages and salaries. That is what is happening today. Nana, look, the MPP cannot tell us that they are doing or they did better than President Mahama. No. Look, somebody asked, is that all that President Nana Addo has been trying to do for all his life, working so hard to lead this country? Is that all he can offer to this country? That President Mahama regime, a gallon of petrol 14 cedis today is around 80 Ghana cedis plus. A cedi, the cedi 3.8, today 3.8 to the dollar. Today the cedi is hovering around 16%, 16 cedis. And you are doing better than President Mahama and his NDC government. No. Nana, all is not well. So the frustration, maybe you are not going around the country because you are always busy at the national theater. But I can tell you, your party stalwarts who are gallivanting, navigating around the country.
Now the BP has affected him.
They know that all is not well in this country.
Right.
They know that, look, there's a gap even between your own party foot soldiers and the government. Why do you think that what the General Secretary put out there, why do you think he did that? The MPs and even their appointees and their MPs, they are running away from the people. Because the promises they give to them, they are not able to honor those promises. They are not able to fulfill those promises. That's why they are running away from the people. And what are the consequences? The consequences are that there will be change.
But the argument is that this is one region out of 16.
That's what I'm just telling you. That region even is supposed to be a region they won in the last election. It's a region they won in the last election. So if the General Secretary has gone round and has realized that, look, there's a gap between their party stalwarts or party appointees and the voters, and he's ready to even put out names, he shouldn't put out the names. All he can do maybe is to call them and talk to them. But it's also not their fault. It is that the government of Nana Addo has promised so much and did little. So it's not their fault that they are running away from the electorates. It's not their fault of those appointees or those MPs. No, there's pressure on them. The resources are not there. One, you promised 1 million per constituency every year. You never did. And they ran away from it. You promised factories. Where are the factories? And how many, even those few factories they've established, how many jobs have they been able to create? Nothing. You understand? One village, one dam. Go to the communities. Where are the dams? The dams are not there. The dams were just dark house. They described as dams. We know what a dam is. All they did were dark house. And they can't even sustain water for even 1 month or 2 months after the rains have stopped. So they just wasted money. They wasted money in the name of one village, one dam. So the MPP has run away from all their promises. So it's not surprising that they are running away from the electorate.
But they say they are winning the elections because...
Yes, that is what they will say. Of course, they can say they are losing the elections. But I can tell you that every Ghanaian is going to look at your living condition and vote. We, NDC...
We've heard that before in this
elections is not an elections, it's not about the NDC. It's about Ghanaians. It's about celebrating the economy of this country. It's about bringing somebody who has the experience, who has been there before to reset the economy of this country. Otherwise, everything is sinking. You understand? Yeah. Well, of course, you can't have an experienced driver and give your car to a driver made to drive. No car owner will do that. So Ghanaians that owns Ghana will definitely go for President Mahama because he has the experience and he has a driver's license. We won't go and give it to a driver mate who doesn't have a license. We will not do that. And I know Ghanaians will not do that.
I thought Mr. Mahama was vice president. In fact, if President Mensah hadn't passed away, what would have been the case?
Right.
So,
but he eventually became president.
Yeah, but how did that happen? So, this your funny comment is funny. Now, the real issues, again, we'll take it sector by sector. What has been done there? Yeah? And we'll take each district, each whatever space, constituency, and find out whether something hasn't been done. And we'll match it against the NDC at the time that they had the same 8 years. And in the 4 years that Mr. Mahama was president, he was president for 4 years, 6 months. And he was vice president for 3 years, 6 months. What were they able to do in their capacities? Somebody who's been vice president and they want to call him mate because he said he's mate, so they say he's mate. And
he said that.
People were not listening to me.
Because he said he's mate.
You were too eager to hear what the NDC said. I'm saying what I'm saying. I said because they are interested in the fact that because he said it, so they've latched onto that. That alone tells you they don't have anything to say. Now, I'm not disputing the price change of fuel. We need to go into that. I'm not going to dispute the forex rate. We need to go into that. I'm not going to dispute our inflation situation. We need to go into that. But what are the things that you need in order for all of those things to slow down and settle? And that's what I'm saying. And if Ghanaians want to take a step back and do the proper analysis, and compare us to other countries that have found themselves in different situations but have survived. And the problems that Ghana faces, Ghana is not the only country that is facing these problems. These are not government-created problems. They are global problems. Ghanaians just need to understand what's going on in around the globe and situate us and take a decision whether the NDC is the party to take us into the future. I take a country like Singapore. It was the sustenance of one party in spite of its human mistakes. It was the party that showed that it had a vision for the people. Thought about Ghanaians. Today, my brother suddenly has found Ghana in his words. They never talk about Ghanaians.
The NDC doesn't talk about
at all. Oh. At all. I've been around a while. I'm telling you, it is not in their character. Check out the achievements of the NPP when we're in government. And look at what the NDC does. They're quick to try and scuttle what we do and salvage what is good for them to benefit from. Today they want to talk about state capture and things like that. Go and check out who divvied up this country, cut it into pieces and took what they considered they could take. From when they started out as a so-called revolutionary government. Go and check out what they did. You see, there's history to all of this. So we're looking at moving forward. Infrastructure for fighting things like corruption have been put in place in law by Nana Akufo-Addo's government. Today, one of the beneficiaries is the NDC. When Nana Akufo-Addo was bringing the OSP, do you remember the fight? Today, they are happy. And they're saying that although the OSP is a member, of NPP, in spite of that, he's today because he has spoken in their favor. So they're happy. Let's go to the history, even of setting up this state institution. So the reality is, when all this is done, the only way it works is if Ghanaians use it. Don't leave it to only governments and political parties. Ghanaians must use the facilities created to help bring all kinds of things back to normal and strengthen us as an economy. And the Akufo-Addo government has done that. So again, you have health facilities. If people want to claim that, as for them, they won't see it because it's good for their politics. Go and see. The 111, how far most of them have gotten. Go and see. Find out. Go to the constituencies. Ask whether they are not happy with what they see. Planting for food and jobs and all those things that go with it. Recently, there was a revamp by the new minister. Go and find out whether it hasn't taken effect and whether people are not benefiting from it. Roads. Today, there's all kinds of facilities being put out. Remember, recently, all this equipment has been brought and is being distributed into the country.
Under the DRIP project?
Thank you.
Right.
So that there will be a focus, a decentralized focus on making sure that certain things can happen within our districts, which are basically the constituencies.
Right.
Now, so all of these things that help us get focus on the ground is why the secretary, when he has noticed that something is wrong, he has spoken out. Which political party can do that in Ghana except the NPP? For no what's the phrase? Without fear or favor. In an election year, he says, we have done work on the ground. Instead of busying yourself letting the people feel it, you are busying yourself not letting the people feel it. The fact that he's pointed out doesn't mean the work hasn't been done. No. The question is, you, the agent of the government, what have you done to let the people feel it? It doesn't mean the work hasn't been done.
Really?
You understand my point? Yes. It doesn't mean the work hasn't been done. The work has been done. What are you doing to let the people feel it? And that's a fair question. I congratulate him. I'm happy that we are developing an open, a very public show of the kind of party we are. The NPP is not a party of hiding thoughts and squeezing people. That's not who we are.
Right.
from the beginning, from our UGCC days. And so what he has done for me, and recently, if you remember, Mr. Kodjo raised some issues. We don't agree with him, but the fact that he was able to boldly raise the issues tells you the kind of party that we are. We must be proud of ourselves and work on it. And those people who the General Secretary will call, we hope that they will turn into better characters in the next 3 months.
Okay,
they have work to do.
I'll come back and we'll talk more about that. But before we go for a quick break, let me read some of your messages on Facebook. Bandy Henry on Facebook says, "Good morning, Honorable Dapila. Your submission on the Airbus scandal was on point. Keep up the good work." Piero Pimari also saying he is wondering quite a number of things, and they are disappointed as truly and more other things. Well, we'll take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. Well, we're still live. We're still live on the breakfast review segment of GH Today. It's getting interesting here in the studio, and I'm sure that you're also enjoying the conversations at home. Remain interactive with us on social media, on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube. I still have Nana Fredua Forata. He is the board chair of the National Theatre, and also have the Member of Parliament for Jirapa, Cletus.
Board chairman.
Yes, no.
You owe me a bit of time to talk about the National Theatre. That's a state institution. It's not an NPP.
Like the
it's not an NPP. So you must give me. You must give me. No, I didn't ask him to introduce me like that. Everything we talk about is political.
Right.
The National Theatre is not a political institution.
We'll talk about the National Theatre.
It is not a political institution.
No, we will.
And yet he introduces me as that. So I think that we'll all be doing the National Theatre a disservice if you don't allow me.
We will do the National Theatre. But I mean, before we went for that break, Nana was talking about Justin Kodjo's comment. And he says he commends him for not keeping quiet about it, but making it public, letting people know exactly what the MPP is doing. And he says one thing that is quite critical, and I'd like to come to you on that. He says that the fact that Justin Kodjo is calling out appointees at that level in that region does not mean that nothing is going on. It means that work is going on, but they're failing to make the people see.
Let me tell you something. What Nana said is neither here nor there.
How so?
Look, there is no community that you go and give them development and the people will not know that you've done something for them. There is no community. You don't need to go and talk about it. You don't need to go. Look, I'm not a social media person, okay? I sat here and I told you that this morning they are going to some villages to install boreholes for them to get drinking water.
Yes.
I don't need to go and convince them. The people will see it. They will drink the water. They will fetch the water. They will use the water and they will be happy. I don't need to go and talk about. So what Nana is saying and what Kodjo is saying, they are completely different things. There is a serious gap. There's a gap because they promise the people so much and they've not been able to honor the promises. So they are running away from the people. So Kodjo is saying that go and meet the people. That is different from what he is saying. Why? If they construct a road to a community, you think they wouldn't know. If you build a school for them, you think they wouldn't know. They will know. But that is not what the General Secretary is saying. And it is also not the fault. Let me also tell the General Secretary of the NPP that it is also not the fault of those appointees running away from the electorates. It is because the government itself has failed those appointees themselves. The government promised so much and did little. So the people go to them, they are harassing them. You understand?
So for you, they are running away from the people.
They are running away from the people because they've not been able to honor the promises they made to the people. And there's no hope that they'll be able to honor those promises before December. So that's why they are running away from them. There is no community, if you send development to them, the people will not know. You understand? You don't need to go and tell them that I did this for you. They are not dumb. They have brains and they know what is good for them. So if you are a government, if you are a party that has done so well, I don't think that there will be a gap between you and the people. So what the General Secretary said is different from what Nana is saying. But let me also add that the NPP doesn't love Ghana more than the NDC. And look, sector by sector, as he's talking about, sector by sector, if we are to go sector by sector, starting from the economy, look, Nana, NDC, I already told you that. How much was a gallon of fuel under NDC? And how much is a gallon of fuel today?
That's not measuring a
It is a measuring. Look, Nana, don't say that.
You are eager to listen. You gone and created your own paint and you are come to paint this picture.
You buy fuel. You were buying fuel under Mahama. How much were you buying fuel? And how much are you buying?
It was expensive, Papa.
Under Mahama?
Yes.
Oh no.
We couldn't handle it.
You see, this is the problem. That's why Kennedy Japan said
I should sit here and then you are preparing.
That is why.
And you
that's
think
why
that is how
Kennedy Japan said that
this is not how to measure the economy.
That what do you how? These are economic indicators.
It's not how to measure.
This is how
the fuel price
change. Is that the only thing?
Inflation
is that the only thing?
The CD dollar
is that the only thing?
You cannot say that.
That's what I'm asking you.
That is where you lost it.
So what metrics then will be
let me do my submission. You stop.
Okay.
Let me finish.
What I'm saying is that
he can't measure. He can't measure.
Under Mahama, inflation was 14-15%. The MPP called him incompetent. They took inflation last 2 years, inflation went as much as 53%. They've been able to bring it to 20-something%, and they say we should clap for them. They are better managers of the economy. Your vice president, who is now the flag bearer, said that within your 100 days in office, he said that he has arrested the dollar, and he gave the key to the IGP. Today he can't talk about, he doesn't want to talk about the economy again. He was hovering around universities, giving lectures about how he can manage this country. In fact, he is disappointed Akufo-Addo and he's disappointed Ghanaians. But President Nana Addo told us that Dr. Bawumia is an economic wizard. The wife, Shamira Bawumia, told us that my husband is an economic wizard. My husband can do better. My husband can handle the economy of this country. We are talking of, we are changing dollar today at 16 Ghana cedis. And Nana, you are saying that these are not the things we should talk about when it comes to the economy. I said sector by sector. You haven't come near President Mohammed's record.
Well, they talk about Agenda 111.
Agenda 111. Check the hospitals with that. Agenda 111. They have not completed one of them. None has been completed since they've been making noise about it. None. They've not completed one. You understand? President Mohammed completed hospitals, decent hospitals. How many? So many of them. How many? Go
so
to
many
Rich.
is not a number.
Rich.
One.
Rich. Even if there are two, I'm telling you that he made the impact. You understand?
You
It's not
said
about
so
the
many.
number.
I said count.
Yes, but I'm counting. I'm talking of Rich.
One.
I'm talking of University of Ghana.
Two.
I'm talking of Bank of Ghana Hospital.
Three.
I'm talking of Afare Hospital, the War Regional Hospital.
Which one is
the
Afare?
Sunyani, so many of them.
Which one is that?
Tamale Teaching Hospital
Which one
Phase
is
2.
that?
I can
Phase
mention
two.
and mention.
Phase 2.
You understand? Please, you let me finish my submission. All that I want to tell you that if it's about sector by sector comparison,
Right.
I'm telling you that look, Nana Addo Bawumia has failed this country. What have they done? They came and appointed so many ministers. President Mahama didn't appoint such ministers. That one alone is a burden to the state, the economy.
But the president gave the justification.
Well, you cannot justify. Everybody will justify
that he
something.
That's a
needed
weak
those number of
political
appointees
But how
because
did,
the
how,
country
how
had
did
been
that impact?
so run
That's a
aground that he
weak
needed these
How
political
did that
numbers.
impact the economy of
That's
this
a
country? How
totally
did that
weak
impact the lives of
political
Ghanaians?
position.
It worsened so many people's lifestyle. You understand? People livelihood. Look,
because he
let me
appointed
tell you
that
an
many
example.
ministers,
Let me give you an
therefore,
example.
and you can do a
Does it
scientific
make economic
analysis of
sense?
this.
Listen, does it make economic sense? Banks that needed 9 billion to be solvent, somebody used 25 billion to collapse those banks. Does it make sense to anybody?
And that is
NPC. And they think we should clap for them.
The number of ministers.
You understand?
He couldn't even rationalize
we should
that.
clap for them. You are talking of economic indicators, and I'm giving them to you.
Finish
and I'm
it.
telling you that
Finish and let me
sector by
wash your
sector,
paint
you
away.
cannot wash my paint away because nobody will listen to you. You cannot more lie to Ghanaians because sector by sector, President Mahama did better than you. Whether CD depreciation, whether inflation, whether price of fuel, whether port charges. Go to the ports today. If I have time, I will read to you port charges that you people have imposed on the importers and exporters. They cannot pay. You go to port today and the port is like cemetery. The port, Tema Port that used to be that busy, you go there, most of them businesses have collapsed. Go to the market. People go to sit there from morning to evening. They can't even sell. Nobody comes to ask you for a product. That is the kind of country you people, have created. So there's a mess. You haven't done well. You haven't done well for Ghanaians. Right. It is just because it's politics, you people must also present a candidate. That's why you are presenting a candidate. Otherwise, I am telling you that you haven't done well. Okay. Even President Nana Addo knows that he hasn't fared well for this country. President Nana Addo knows that. Dr. Bawumia knows that. That is why he himself is running away from your own record. He's running away from your own record. President Nana, what is that?
I'm waiting for you to, because he's repeated himself. Dr.
Bawumia,
listen, he said the same thing 3 times.
Listen.
So I'm waiting patiently for you.
Listen. What I just want to tell you is that if it's about sector by sector comparison, the NPP is last.
Okay.
They cannot compare.
Right.
My own constituency. Why? Under NDC. And then we did a secondary school, we did a polyclinic. They haven't been able to do any single thing there, any single major thing. They have not been able to do that. If you go to my constituency, many of the infrastructure, any landmark project you see in Jirapa constituency, it is the NDC that did it.
Okay.
It is the NDC. So you cannot, if you want to go sector by sector, you talk of Agenda 11 projects that have not been completed. Even those ones, most of the projects have been stalled, except few that they are struggling to complete and use to do politics. Even those ones, they've not been able to complete them.
All right.
Then you come and sit on TV and want to compare your regime to President Mohammed's regime. You cannot.
He cannot land.
Under President Mahama.
He cannot land, though.
Look, under President Mahama.
He cannot land.
Ask those who are from Wa, anybody who is from Wa, how much were they paying lorry fare from Accra to Wa, and how much are they paying today?
He cannot land.
You understand?
Very well.
So you cannot say that these are not things people should measure. These are things that affect people. Transportation.
Okay.
Transportation. You need so much money to go to work today. Under President Mahama, you didn't need that kind of money.
Okay, Cletus, thank you. Nana Frida.
I'm wondering whether my brother knows and can prove that the so-called economic stature of the Mahama government was due to actual work done, or whether we were just floating at the time. Because if they knew
actual work done by who?
If they knew that,
by who?
It would have shown at the polls. I'm saying that on the ground. And you see, he talks about come to his constituency and everything that was done by the NDC. Really?
Yes.
He wants to tell me that when they left, everything there today, nothing has been touched by the NPP in his constituency.
I'm talking about landmark projects.
And if that is the case,
not
now you want to define. Now you want to define.
I'm talking about
I said landmark. You sat here and claimed Tamale Phase 2. Who created Phase 1? Let's not be talking these small things.
Right.
Let's be real on the ground about issues. We're talking about building the country. We're talking about stabilizing people's lives, long term.
You fail.
You are just interested in the short term.
You
raise emotions. Let people be angry. Yeah, we can't afford this. Do you know what you did? The effect of your not working. When we said you were incompetent, it was not for nothing. Incompetence doesn't mean that you didn't go to the office. You went to the office and did nothing. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was watching Mr. Mahama say he will work hard. When he was in office, was he working hard?
He did better.
Was he working hard? He said, you know what I heard him saying that thing? I'll stay in the office and Akufo-Addo goes home at 1, 2 a.m. because he's working. Now you've heard that, so now you want to come and now copy him. When you had the chance, what were you doing?
The person I was thinking to copy.
It's not
that's what it is. You see, so, but you see, and that one is just a by comment.
That is not the issue.
So you, when they hit you, then you start saying, I've never had a boxer in the ring say Ajay when he's punched before.
Sector by sector comparison.
What kind of thing?
What was the inflation rate under Mahama? What is
when I give you uppercut? When I give you uppercut, no, you say Ajay.
You are not debating the issue. You are not debating.
Stay in the ring and wait for your punches.
What you want to say.
Stay in the ring and wait for your punches.
No.
When the punch is more, then you start running around the ring. Stay in the ring.
That's not the topic you are talking about.
The issue on the ground is, has infrastructure been put in place to set the country up for progress? Move our economy forward. Are we creating the opportunities for jobs to be created?
Where?
Are we not letting people now be creative about what they can do for themselves? That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
And they do not have a solution. They do not have a solution. Look, when this e-levy that became so unpopular, do you know what it really did? It raised over 1.9 billion in revenue for the country.
How did it impact the government?
Even though it didn't meet your targets?
What was the
set
impact
targets for the e-levy?
And if it didn't meet it and it was able to raise 1.9 million, what does that say? I don't recall that you have made it to this position by always meeting your targets. You went to school and sometimes aimed for 80%, and when you were done, it was 60%. But they graduated you.
But because of its unpopularity, Dr. Bawumia says if he becomes president, he will scrap it.
And I admitted that, didn't I? I said that because it's become an unpopular thing. But I'm reflecting on the fact that it was an instrument of progress.
Okay.
And the evidence is in the amount of money it was able to raise.
Okay.
Now, even the not meeting the target, do you remember why? when it was kicking off, all the problems it faced, thanks to them. So you see, I'm saying that real developmental things have been put on the table. When we say digitalization, you know, one of the major things it's going to do, it's going to make sure that corruption comes down. They don't want to hear that. Why? Why don't they want to hear that it will allow corruption to come down?
Right.
These are real issues on the ground. So for me, Ghanaians,
digitalization is not a human.
We should be looking at moving this country for in the long term.
Okay.
We cannot be going this piecemeal approach.
No.
Now they are relying on the matter of 8. Oh, they've gone for 8 years. We need.
No,
hey,
that's not what we are relying on.
We're talking about real issues on the ground.
No. That's not what we are relying on.
We're talking about real things on the ground.
I wish we could extend the conversation because
I want you to bring him back so that because now that I know
the next time you must come and
our record.
so that we can start.
Now that I know that he heads from politics. When you hit him again, he's in trouble. Let him come.
We'll make sure that we get more time.
Ghanaians are
and let's focus on. If you like, let's not talk about what's in the media. Let's talk about
what is happening.
Yes, he and I.
Yes,
let him bring his documents.
We'll make sure that happens.
You let us come.
But we will ensure that
I can promise you.
Nobody should bring your own, set your own questions and come and.
We will just get the two of you.
Nobody should come and set your own questions and come and provide answers.
Right.
One of the conditions, he shouldn't be coming to copy me.
No.
Right.
And if you don't know how they like to copy you, they like to copy. If I copy you before you say, you know it.
Right. No,
if I copy you, then I've already failed.
I don't need to copy you.
How can I copy you? I know you are already a failure. Why should I come and copy you?
Briefly, how is the family feeling about all of this?
Which family?
The conversations around the Ejapade.
Oh, I'm not interested in that topic.
You're not interested in that one?
No, I find it very mediocre.
Okay.
I find it to be a total propaganda tool created by the NDC.
No, it's
and
your
document.
It's your people.
They are very interested.
It's your people.
In that. And
you are chopping minus others. So others decided to expose you. It's not NDC that is talking about.
And it is up to Ghanaians to see what kind of document starts off in 2017. And the NDC did one against the Ashantis in President Kufuor's time.
No.
Then they did one in 2017. Somehow that same document has evolved into what it
just go away. My brother,
I'm not interested.
Hold him to prove.
As far as I'm concerned,
hold him to prove to what he says.
It's very small-minded. It's very typical of the likes of Fifi Kweti, who put up things like that.
So you are now accusing Fifi Kweti?
Is it your problem?
I'm saying go and check it out and see whether it doesn't match.
He's a very brainy.
You remember when he used to tell all those lies, and then when now he wanted, and then when now he became when the Professor Mills won the election and he was appointed to become a minister, then he started saying he's sorry about what he had said and he started denying something. You remember?
But how do you blame him for this?
I should check it out. Go and check out. Go and check out the history, and then deal with that. So as far as I'm concerned, it's small-minded, it's petty, and I'll leave it for when the top guns like the Ojini and the president have made their point. I think I'll leave it. If Ghanaians prefer this type of thing, well, then there's nothing.
Okay.
But if they want the truth, they know.
Right.
How can
issue.
Mr. Mahama
comment
on a thing like that?
People are chopping minus others within your party. So they decided to expose you.
Right.
And then you say something like
this. It is not NDC that's talking about.
You're so disappointed.
It's your own people.
And Mr. Mahama,
I
was so disappointed.
An NDC man.
I was
the people
so
talking about the document. Do you understand?
I was so disappointed. How can Mr. Mahama, somebody who's seeking of high office, reduce himself to that position of talking about a thing like that?
Okay.
It is ridiculous.
Land for me.
Nobody. We'll talk to the end. When I was talking, I was interfering. Nobody. There's no landing.
There's no landing. You allow me and Nana. You allow me and
No, don't allow him. No, you allow him. I didn't talk for you.
You talked about Ghana. Ghana is watching now, so we have to.
So then shut up. Then say bye-bye. Yes, I think Ghana deserves
So
more.
thank you. Thank you. You made your point on
By
that.
the way, we haven't spoken about National Theatre. Don't give him the 30 seconds. Otherwise, we're going to do the same thing.
You
yourself said
the same thing.
He will not go
when
back.
I was talking, he was
I will ensure that
interfering.
he doesn't go there.
When I was talking, he was interfering.
I'll make sure he doesn't go there.
And you didn't say anything.
I stopped it.
It's about 20 seconds left. And you didn't say anything. So I don't understand how now.
You are no.
Now I think about 10 seconds.
So you have to.
So he has used his 30 seconds. You've given him another 30 seconds.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
How can you allow yourself to be manufactured?
Says that the
You are being
NPP
manipulated.
need to apologize to Ghanaians
For what?
For inflicting hardship on them before they start the
you
campaign.
go and do
That
a-
Ghanaians are not vulnerable. Ghanaians
Thanks
are
to
not
digitalization now, the NDC knows how to use AI.
And just go to them
So
and
they are
vote
creating all kinds of stories.
That's what Kennedy said.
How come
So it tells you
how
that
come
all
on
is
his
not
case
well
you
in the
are saying
country?
please? When you was
You
talking,
allow
you said
don't
nothing.
worry.
No, I'm not talking to you.
You allow
I'm talking to
I'm
you.
also talking to you.
I'm not talking to you.
Don't come and sit here and do your
Yeah,
own
so
thing
then
here.
tell him to stop.
You are communicating to your
Theatre is
party.
not a party
Don't
thing.
bring your party propaganda here. Your party has done propaganda all this while, and Ghanaians gave them the mandate. They want power, and they've not been able to do anything for the people. The people are saying that who vote for you. The people are saying they won't vote for
your voice is going really high. It will even enter mine.
Yes.
So Cletus, hold on for me. Quickly. I mean, we'll get a time for the two of you. And I will be
So then you shouldn't say
sure that I'll be
anything
the one to host it to ensure that we will have a real.
You know, one of the things about the National Theatre.
Nana should only talk about the issues.
We need to
the
go.
issues that
National
you
Theatre.
take. Nana should talk
You
about
know one of
the
the things about
issues.
National Theatre.
The National Theatre.
It's not English we want to
a
listen.
cult.
We are talking
I don't
about
speak
issues.
your language.
You are always speaking English.
Cletus,
You just
please.
come and be speaking English.
If your English
You
is
don't
not
talk about
English,
issues.
mine is English.
No.
So it looks like
When I say English, you don't discuss
He
the
doesn't
topic.
want me to
You
talk
don't come. You don't talk
about
to the
the
issues. You
opportunities.
just come and say that and speak slangs around. That's not what Ghanaians want to hear.
Why are you shouting?
It looks like we are never
That's
going to
not
get
what
any
I'm trying to
headway.
hear.
And National Theatre is doing well, right?
Nothing to
Yes.
do with Now I'm upset because
pay attention to
no, the National Theatre is not an NPP institution or an NDC. So stop it and listen
please
to
pay
me.
attention. Let's
Now,
wrap it up.
well, the thing I want to talk about, we're doing a lot of things, but there's one particular thing that I'm very passionate about, which is we're going to hold the first ever conference of the performing arts under the auspices of the National Theatre. So what this does is that it's bringing all the players in the field together. They've never really had a platform where they express their concerns about policies. And personally, if you ask me, government on government have been very short on that particular space.
Right.
So the people in the sector themselves are also very short on fighting for what is good for them.
Okay.
So we're creating this platform for all the entities to come together. Those who potentially could sponsor programs. You see, in the National Theatre, if you read the act that formed it, it's not meant to be that building. That building is supposed to be the headquarters. There's supposed to be a National Theatre structure of some sort in places like Jirapa, wherever else. You come to my hometown, wherever else, we're supposed to be present there because you generate talent from everybody among the young, even the old. You offer them all the opportunities. So we're hoping that this conference will bring all of this, and it will be annual.
Okay.
The idea is for it to be annual. So those in the sector must be very interested in making sure that no matter, you see, and the board, for example, has about, I think 40, 50%, 60% appointees of a government. So God forbid if the NDC won, they will appoint. God willing, the NPP will still appoint. But you want
We need to go.
You want it to
annual.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what you want to do.
What have you achieved?
And that's what
we need to go.
That's what we're looking at.
Okay.
So we're looking for people to come and support us.
much for staying on with us on GH today on GHOne television. And my next interview is one that I'm particularly excited about, because my guest is a man that has shown to many of us that it is possible to make things happen as a youth, even here in Ghana. I mean, at a time where everybody just wants to jackpot, that is it. Everybody wants to leave. But he's shown that it's possible to make it happen. It's possible to leave. And that's it. That's the conversation we'll be having today. It's International Youth Day. And so that's what we'll be talking about for Hard Talk. So, International Youth Day, we are looking at the Ghanaian youth, we are looking at our journey here, we are looking at the possibilities, the prospects, and also the challenges that we encounter here. And some people have received some messages from people who said my earlier ranting was in the right direction. Yeah, because there's so much that needs to be done to make sure that the youth is able to live to its full potential in this country, Ghana. My guest is the CEO of Afro-Arab Group. And if you are driving around town, you see his billboards. You might have seen his billboards around town. 40 under 40. There's so many achievements. And it's a privilege to sit with Ambassador Alhaji Salamu Amadu. Welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
I hope you're doing well.
Pretty good, especially sitting in front of Prince Charming like you.
I could say same for you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, my brother.
But
thank you for having me.
Fantastic. I mean, International Youth Day.
Yeah.
People, like I said earlier, a lot of people believe that opportunities are not rife, for which reason the only way we can make it is to leave Ghana. But you have been here, you've seen outside world and all of that, and you're still here.
I can say it's a mindset, and then I don't blame them as well, because to be honest with you, if our economy is good, nobody will leave his comfort and said he's going somewhere to start a life. But that is what it is. And then about Ghana, it's a good country. It's a special country. It's a home. And then, inshallah, things are going to be better. They say when there is life, there is hope for the youth. So the youth should not give up on Ghana. It's not easy, but better days are coming. Inshallah.
Better days are coming, and yes, I mean that's all we hope for. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine in Germany, and I was telling her about how everybody thinks that it's easier there. She says no, it's not easy there at all. I mean, if she had it her own way, she would still be in Ghana, but for some reason she finds
no, for sure. That is why I said it's for a reason that people are living.
Right.
I'm just coming from Canada about 2 weeks ago. Even people who live here, some are crying. You understand me? But they leave Ghana for a purpose. Like I'm telling you, it's because things are not going well here. That is why they are there. Everybody would love to be in his home country with family, with friends. If you have better things doing that, you can put food on the table. But it's unfortunate, but we should never lose hope.
Right.
I believe sometimes problems are there to make us better. There are a lot of opportunities here as well. In as much as I can admit with you, and I can admit with the people who leave Ghana for their greener pasture, that opportunities are also here. Most of them too are doing well there.
Right.
And then at the end of the day, they will come back home, inshallah, for us to continue to develop the only country, Ghana, that we have.
But looking at the status quo, as has been the case from time immemorial, have we put in place enough policies to ensure that the youth are guided to a path of success?
To be honest with you, this is a very huge question when you talk about policies. I will tell you that the fundamentals of every policy is the economy. We can bring so many policies that we want. If the economic is not good, it will expose us. And these policies that they are bringing, is it sustainable? You should not just bring a policy for bringing policy's sake. You understand me? You can bring one policy that can change the entire dynamic to make things happy. But if the economy is weak, those policies I don't believe. To my observation, I'm talking me.
Definitely.
To my observation, every policy must be back with the economy.
And in terms of the economy and those policies, now, I don't know anybody who is doing one thing. Even my friends who are doctors are finding their feet in entrepreneurship one way or the other. Because for many people, that's the way out. Like, you cannot succeed unless you find yourself in one way or the other doing some entrepreneurship.
That is the way to go. When we talk about money, we talk about making it in life, it's through entrepreneurship. If you want to make money, you have to create a business that will make you rich, or for you to be able to live the life that you want. It's entrepreneurship.
Right.
And like I said before, the opportunities are here. Why? Because there are problems here. So it's easier to be an entrepreneur here in Ghana, in Africa, than the Western world.
It's easier.
So yes, very easy. As an entrepreneur, the easy I'm saying not to be. I'm not talking about success.
Right.
But you can start something here easier
because the
than
problems
in the
are here more.
Problems are here, and you can start small here.
Okay.
Unlike the Western world. So the opportunities are here.
So for someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, you say that because the problems are here, and entrepreneurship is basically finding answers to challenges.
Yes.
And so once the challenges thrive, but how easy is it for you because people have ideas. But how to bring those ideas to actualization becomes the challenge for you.
So that is why I even tell you about when you talk about policies. Everybody has something in his mind, but how it can become reality is the problem. You need to stay focused. You need to stay dedicated.
Right.
The journey is not a one-day journey. To be an entrepreneur is not like normal work that you go at the end of the day you are receiving money. Sometimes it takes a long time for you to start seeing your success. So the opportunities are here, but our environment is not enabling. So that is why you see, if you have been able to penetrate, then you become bigger and better. You understand? So the opportunities are there, but it's not easy. It cannot come easy too. Nobody should sit out there and think that, oh, it's going to be easy like that. No, you need to work hard to get there. To be successful in this country, you don't have to sleep. You have to work hard and you get there, inshallah. And you have to be determined. You have to know what you want to do. There are a lot of youths in this country. They are very smart. They have the idea, but they don't. That push is a problem for them because our system, and so it's kind of difficult because
they get frustrated.
You get frustrated every day. Living in a country where interest rate is above 30% to 35% going, it's very difficult for a business person to even start. Not even young entrepreneurs that are coming up. I believe people who have already even made it, they get scared to go into all these things, to say they are going to, expand their businesses, and even dealing with the banks alone too is another thing.
And capital is very important.
It's very, very important.
And the people that are supposed to give you the capital to put your business
capital is very, very important. But it's not capital alone that you need to be a successful entrepreneur.
Right.
You can have the capital, and if you don't understand what you are doing, all the capital will go away. So it's not really about capital alone. You can start small, and once you scale up.
And talking about that, I remember, I've forgotten the year, when I first saw the Afro-Arab billboard. And I was like, hey, now who is this young man? Then, okay, usually people also give it time. You won't see the business running again. Yes. But as we speak today, it's still running.
17 years.
17 years. I saw it about 10 years ago.
Yeah, yes. 17 years.
Wow.
We started in 2007.
So tell me about the journey.
The journey is not an easy one, but it's, first of all, I'll say Allah is on God. It's God who is giving me the direction, and with good people around me. We live in a Zongo community where they are the finest and the nicest people around. When you are doing something, the people keep motivating you and telling you that you are the right path. It's not easy, but you are the right path. And then you also have to know what you want.
Right.
As a dreamer, you need to be pushing. You just don't have to be there and to think like it's going to happen tomorrow. No. It's not. It's not easy. I love what I'm doing. That is why, you see, every day I keep on pushing. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I'm a family person. I spend time with my friends, playing soccer and all that. So I concentrate on the work. Every time I'm working, I don't have free time as well. So I concentrate on what I am doing. And I love Afro Arab because it's making me proud. It's making the Zongo youth also proud. Everybody in our community wants to be part. Not even people in the environment I live. I get friends everywhere in this country, outside Ghana, and even in the West. Everybody wants to be associated with the group.
Right. Because
coming up from a Zongo community to build Afro Arab is an amazing thing that everybody wants to be part of it.
And I see your footprints in the Zongo community.
Yes, that is where I'm coming from. And I'm very proud. I don't think I can be able to be where I am here if not from the Zongo that I come from. You understand me? So, and then there are opportunities there. So it's up to us, the youth today, that will come together and change the scenario. We should not allow people to tell our stories. For example, just recently, youth group in Mamobi are coming up with Mamobi Foundation. And it's amazing. There are youth that are coming together. Very soon they will launch Mamobi Youth Foundation. Basically, they look at our elders, imams, and scholars that are around and orphans that they need to support. I will take the opportunity to give one of the co-founder, Edmond 2020, a shout out. He's doing an amazing work. Even they changed the scenario of land guard in our community now.
Right.
Most Zongo people are into real estate. And I bet you very soon the real estate industry will going to grow through these Zongo community people, the youth in the Zongo community. So they came up with this Mamobi Foundation. And one of our chiefs also, who is very influential, Abbas Serki, says, no, we should not talk about the old men or our scholars and orphans alone. We should also focus on drugs, because drugs is killing our young people. So you see, if you are having this kind of mentality in the community, for sure, it's going to be positive. So young people are coming up, people are concentrating on their business and all that, and I'm happy. Every young man today wants to put food on the table for his family.
That's it.
And then that's the way to go.
So these 17 years of Afro Arab, I'm sure that when you started, at a point, it was not as smooth as you would have anticipated.
No, for sure. The vision is there. Whatever business you are going to do, you need to have the focus and then the vision. We started with import and export of metal scraps and agricultural produce. By then, my father is doing black market, Bureau de Change. So my senior brother, who is my first boss, Alaji Lawi, I was following him whilst I was in school. Most people will come to us to be borrowing money. And then sometimes you look at it, problem will come, you go to police station, they say you don't have license to give money out. So I said, no, I need something that will back me up so that we can be lending money. That is how the Afro Arab Microfinance also started, which is over 13 years now.
Wow.
And then we are still operating. And then we started buying lands. And I say, then one of my friends said, why are you buying so many land like that? Why, you want to be a real estate developer? And I took that. Immediately, I registered a real estate company. And then
just because a friend asked you?
Yes. You get a lot of inspiration in the street. Sometimes you meet young people. Don't look down on people, especially deprived people or people from the Zongo community. No, there are a lot of things in their mind. That is why I wish our leaders can make us come close to them so that we can be able to change. Because, for example, there are so many times I made an attempt to meet president, but I couldn't meet him. And we will be here. You will see American artists will come straight. They will take him to Jubilee House. We are here. He's gone. Now what is he doing for Ghana? You understand? I'm not against it, but I think our leaders needs to come close. They have to be close to us.
So you feel that there is a disconnect between the political
very
class
huge one.
and
No, very huge one. Very huge one. I don't know whether they want you to wear MPP or NDC, because no, for us to build this nation, it's not about political parties. Some people don't want to involve into party things, but you can associate with them so that, especially the youth. In 2016, I went to one young girl in Ottawa, Canada. You will be amazed. Trudeau, who is the Prime Minister of Canada, is very close to even refugees. Yesterday on Instagram, I saw him in Nigerian community. He's a white man, but he's associating himself to these people so that at least they know Africans are very smart. Just that we are not getting the contact and then the right connection to make things happen. So our leaders, wherever you are, not politicians alone, our chiefs, our pastors, our imams, they should connect with young people so that we can be able to make Ghana a better place.
And I'd like to find out from you, what do you think the effect of this disconnect is?
That is, it will not bring us development. Because, let me tell you, I believed, me sitting down here, I can be able to solve housing problem in this country if I get the right support.
Right.
Yes, because we have over 1.8 housing deficit in Ghana. 1.8 million housing deficit in Ghana. And the major problem is with the low income and the middle income. And what are we doing about it?
We are building Saglami.
So you see, if people have passion for these kind of things, you support them and then they will get it. I'm a practical person. Sometimes that is why it's not about talking. But you have to get the job done. That is it. So people should come together, young people, old people. Let's come together and build Ghana, because Ghana is a special country.
That's it. Yeah. And we see the politicians and the leaders come to the youth only when they need their mandate.
But things are changing. From my community where I come from today, campaign has started, but you can see everybody is minding his business. Yes, people will be shouting here. There are people who 8 years ago are leading all those things. Today they will not even look at it. You understand me? Because I will be honest with you, the youth are very disappointed. Very, very disappointed. So everybody is minding his business on how they can put food on the table. So it's good. Every young man is trying to do something, and then most youth in our community to japa. No, they are gone.
Right.
I used to organize football match Saturday morning and Monday, like today evening. Now I'm not getting players. It's easier to organize people in New York, in Newark, in New Jersey, in Montreal, in Toronto than even Ghana. I was in Canada, and my cousin called me in Chicago and said, "Man, come, please, let me buy a ticket for you to come to Chicago. We are having like 40 to 50 people from our community to come and play ball." You understand? Wow. So everybody is living, and it's scary. It's very bad for us. How can we build Ghana without these people? You understand? America, they know the importance of the youth. That is why they open their borders for us to go. So we need the youth to be able to develop.
There is so much untapped potential, and we are not making critical use of tapping into those
especially the youth. Human capital is very, very important. When you go to China, I was in Canton Fair earlier this year. I'm amazed. You know why? Because young people, young Chinese people are trying to do so many things. And here I see that we are wasting a lot of time. Young people, I mean, our leaders are not using us. People like us, they need to use us so that we can make impact in the country.
And because I would have wondered, I mean, with all that you've been able to achieve and all that you have seen, what is keeping you in Ghana?
No, I love Africa very much. And I believe this is where we come from. And we are the one to build this country. Ghana is a special country, and I also love Nigeria very much, because there are a lot of problems there. And that makes it me to see a lot of opportunities there also. There is a lot of opportunity in Nigeria. So I get sad, especially the demonstration that is happening in Nigeria. It's really bad. You know why? Food is the cheapest thing in Nigeria. So if people are crying and doing hunger demonstration, you should know that is not well. When you compare Ghana and Nigeria, in terms of food, Nigeria is ahead of us because it's cheap. Food is cheap there. So I want to take this opportunity to send message to our leaders. They should not take us for granted. President Ahmed Tinubu is only 1 year and some few months, and people are crying for food. Food, hunger demonstration is very serious.
And food that is comparatively very cheap.
But Ghanaian, the youth are okay. Not really okay, but trying to make things happen. They should not take them for granted. It's not good.
I like that. I mean, I had a couple of my colleagues come back from Nigeria. They went for a training, came back to Ghana, and they say, "Oh, Charlie, we should all move to Nigeria."
No, I'm telling you. Today, if they are giving me American passport and $10 million to move to America, and they will give me $5 million and Nigeria passport, I will go to Nigeria.
You go to Nigeria?
Yeah, because opportunities are there. Why? There are a lot of problems. Equally, the youth should look at problems that we have, and then if each one of us will tackle one problem, we can be able to create a lot of jobs, and pressure will not be on the government.
And as a youth ambassador, I know you've been doing a lot of work with the youth. I mean, you even talked about the football matches that you organize for these young chaps to not just discover talents, but for them to also find a sense of belonging. Tell me more about what you're doing in that.
No, we do a lot. We also have a second division football club, Spartans, that we are an 8th talent, and then we take these young ones abroad for them to play. Aside that, I believe in partnership. Recently, the social corporate responsibility arm of my group, Yasalam Opportunity Center, partnered Bismillah Foundation, that they do health insurance for kids in our community. So we do one child, one health insurance project that Dixon is coordinating to be doing all this insurance in our community. We support also in education. Aside giving out educational materials, we give scholarship, both local and international, with our partners. Last year, we also partnered Rainbow Foundation and to do some library and then equip them with a lot of books in the community. And then Afro-Arab wants to bring the youth closer, because that is the only way we can change the story, especially in our Zongo communities. Most of the time, we allow people to tell our own story. So opportunity like this, we also want to tell our story for people to know that the people in the Zongos, they are not bad people. They can also do A, B, C, and D for the development of this country. So we are open for partnership. Just recently also, we are going to partner Shatta Bundle to bring Shatta Bundle Foundation. I have some people from America, Vigilo. They came, they help people with disability and things that. So Shatta Bundle happens to be in my office when they came for us to present some crutches and things to people. So Shatta Bundle, after he told me, he said, "Chairman, I want to start my own foundation so that I can help people with disability. When I was young, nobody wants to eat with me. And again, people even don't want to stay close to me. But look at me today. Anywhere I go, people wants to take picture with me. So I want to establish my own foundation so that we can be able to help people with disability." So Vigilo came in and said they will come on board, not only to give these disability people these crutches and things, but at the end of the day, they are going to bring funding so that people with disability are going to be given money for them to work and pay in partnership with Afro-Arab Microfinance without interest. So it's impact. It's not about making money. There are a lot of young people in this country who are doing amazing things. It's not about making money alone, but to make impact. So we are doing a lot. If I said I'm going to say we are not, most of them I don't even have them.
Wow. But you talked about the picture in terms of the narrative of the Zongos.
Yes.
And the fact that, well, you are working towards changing that narrative that Zongo people are bad people. If you're looking for hardened criminals, that's where you find them. Is the story changing in reality?
No, I don't think there is the story. The problem is we allow people to tell our own story. That is where the problem is. There are a lot of things that are bad things that are happening in this country that Zongo people are not associated with. So the good things that we are doing, for example, today when you mention Afro-Arab, people will be telling you this and that and that. I meet a lot of people, and then I'm surprised. They even know what I'm doing. Why? Because I'm telling my story. Today I've dedicated the International Youth Day not to go to my office, being Monday, but I will make sure that whatever we are doing in the Zongo community, I put it out there. Like I tell you, people think Zongo people are involved in Langa. Today, they are developers. We have so many real estate developers in our community doing their own small things. Abbas Giwa has Giwa Investment. A lot of youth are following him, doing his real estate. He buy lands, he develop and sell. Edmond is also doing the same thing. Afro-Arab is also doing the same. And real estate involves a lot of people to come in to do these buildings, from artisans and all these things. You know, the employment, we are employing our own people. The value chain is huge. That is very huge. I want to talk about Honorable Mahmoud Jaja, Zongovation Hub. This man is putting all his energy doing coding for young kids in our community. So these are people we need to celebrate, and then to let you know that what people are saying about the Zongo people sometimes it's not true, and we now are coming out to tell our own story. So like the Afro-Arab story, you know it already. You understand me? Because we make sure that we put our story out there to also make impact. A lot of young people in the Zongo community too will pick it up there.
Interesting. And when we're talking about that, elections are some few months away, and the youth become the ones that are used mostly to perpetrate all these forms of electoral violence and all of that. So what would be your message to
my message,
especially for the elections?
My message is the youth are getting tired, so no youth will be involved in all these mayhems that people are talking already, but still we have to send some message out there for them. They should stay focused. Every youth you see today is trying to do something to put food on his table for the family. And this election that is coming, already campaigns have started. People I've seen last year involved into this campaign and all those things are setting aside because they are minding their own businesses. They're just waiting for the deed day. Then everybody will go and do his vote, and then we'll come back to see where our destiny will be heading to, because we are going to get a new president.
Definitely. So, Ambassador, today is International Youth Day, and you said you have dedicated a day to not going to your office. You're not going to sit down and no. So, what message do you have?
I'm going to the British Council.
Right.
They invited me
to an event too. Fantastic.
Yes.
So, what is your message for the Ghanaian youth on
the Ghanaian youth? The message is we should stay focused, not to lose hope. They are determined. Even if you go to abroad, they will tell you they like Ghanaian youth because we are hardworking. Yes, we can't do without our leaders, but so we should also to start having another option that we can build ourselves and make Ghana a better place. To be successful in this country is not an easy thing.
Right.
But when you achieve that goal, you will be happy. There is nothing like succeeding in your own country, to become somebody in your own country. Then you can be able to help a lot of people. So the youth also should come together, because when we come together, we can change the scenario and then make Ghana a better place.
Alhaji, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay. So that's Ambassador Alhaji Salamu Amadu. He is the chief executive of the Afro-Arab Group, and it's been a conversation that I am sure that you should cut and keep at home and continually play to yourself as a youth, to be able to energize yourself and know that, you know what, this is our own, this is Ghana, and we are responsible for building this country of ours. And that's how we draw the curtains. A high note to draw the curtains on GA Today this morning. I hope you had a wonderful time with us. Let's repeat same tomorrow right here on GHOne Television. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Do have a lovely morning.